Rise and shine, everybody. If y'all up there, rise and shine. Hang on 1 second, family. We about to have a build. Yeah, y'all join. Come on, come on, come on, come on. About to interview this brother right here. Guys, it's about to be a unique build. This brother's going viral. Okay, so let me take the screen down for 1 second. He's going viral, and for his thoughts on taking care of the children that he has. And everybody has something to say, but I get to talk to him directly today, okay? So I'm going to figure out how to send him a link real quick, and we're going to get this thing going. Let's see here. About to get it straight, family. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, family. About to get him right. Peace, peace. All right, I want to send you this link real quick, but I'm on my computer with the link. Trying to figure out the best way to send it to you. Can you come to my YouTube and I just and you just grab the link out of the comments? Yeah, I do it. All right, bet. Hey, it's Kevin Wesley Be the Evolution on YouTube. All right, bet. Is it your bio? Let's see. He probably better off just to go to YouTube and type in Kevin Wesley Be the Evolution. You should be live. Okay, thank you. Bet. All right, family. So listen, we're gonna call him House, okay? And I'm gonna pop this link in here. This is not for everybody. So listen, guys. Do not use this link right now, family. Do not use this link right now. Okay, please do not disturb this. I will let you guys come on though after we speak with him. Okay, maybe you guys want to ask him some questions, but I just ask that you guys, you know, don't use the link. The link is only for House for this moment. Okay. All right, so it's only for House. Right now, I'm going to play House's video here. And then we're going to, as soon as House comes on, we're going to get him on. Let's go.
I got 7 kids and 7 baby mamas. Now, for the past few days, I've been going live, telling my story, speaking my truth. And a lot of women having an issue calling me a deadbeat because I tell them I was being irresponsible, yet not wearing protection. But I always tell these women that I got pregnant that I do not want to be a father to these children. And I offer to pay for the abortion. Majority of times, they'll either take the abortion or they'll take a plan B. But only these 7 have kept these children. But the crazy thing about it is they want me to be responsible for some children I told them I did not want. So for some years now, some of them been trying to get in contact with me, access denied. Because I don't really know why you're trying to get in contact with me. I didn't told you I did not want them kids. So don't expect me to be responsible financially, emotional, spiritually, mentally, or physically with some kids I not want. And I don't give a what nobody think about it. You're not going to force children up on me. Yeah, we both made the decision to lay down and have intercourse. We both was irresponsible about the decisions we made that night. Yeah, I could have pulled out, but I didn't. And I ain't care to pull out because I'm not the one that's going to have to carry a baby for 9 months. It's the woman. In my opinion, women should be more careful on who they sleep with, because you're gonna be like, one of my baby mamas trying to find me so I can financially support a kid I done told her or them I did not want. Another thing is, these just jump offs. These are the type of women that I ain't even had to do nothing for. The bare minimum, but they gave me access to their body, and they think I want to be a father to a child for one of them? Like, I don't even have no type of love for these women. How do they expect me to love these children? Before y'all say, oh, he irresponsible, he a deadbeat, he don't take accountability. Yeah, I do. I just don't give a. You ain't gonna force these children on me when I told you I ain't want them. Yeah, I can offer to pay for abortion, but at what point can I force a woman to go get an abortion? I cannot. A woman say, my body, my choice, but I say, it's my life, my choice. Before y'all try to stitch this, be like black man this, black man that, I don't know.
Now, family. So if you guys remember that video, powerful video, by the way, it went like wildfire. It's everywhere. We got House of Hypocrites right now in the room. Let's see if I can bring you on, brother. Let's see here. Can you unmute yourself? Because it's the mic.
Hey, do you hear the echo?
Nah, you good actually. Can you unmute yourself? Because it's I hear that. Your feedback. So you probably got YouTube turned up loud. I heard your feedback. You had YouTube turned up.
What about now?
Let's see.
Okay, I probably had,
yeah, you probably had YouTube turned up.
No, I had the YouTube and in this open, so that's what it was doing. I had two tabs open. Yeah.
Okay, peace, man. How you doing?
I'm cooling.
All right, cool. How's your life been since this video went crazy?
It's been the same.
Oh, okay.
Look, it turned up a little bit though. It turned up a little bit just because it's a different perspective, and it's some shit that some men want to say, but you know what I'm saying, they scared of being scrutinized for it and being judged, and might feel like they less of a man because they made these particular decisions. But I don't.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Well, I guess when I saw it, I don't know if you know anything about me personally, but
I seen you run away.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, bet. All right. So from the content I saw in your video, we have similar views, but a different perspective. We ended up somewhere differently. Okay. So a lot of the things that you say, I actually understand to be true. I see your logic, but the end result, I didn't end up. So often I think like this: if you and I have similar logic, and we ended up in two different places, the difference is likely in maybe upbringing, philosophy, perspective. You know what I mean? So I thought I'd ask you, kind of how you grew up. You know what I mean? And kind of just what shaped the way you see life to come to this conclusion the way you do.
See, what's crazy is this is why I tell parents all the time: you gonna raise your kids the best way you can in the way that you think they should go. You're gonna raise them with morals. You're gonna raise them with, you know what I'm saying, some type of discipline and structure. Don't mean that child is going to follow those teachings that you taught them. Because one day they're gonna be their own man, and one day they're gonna be their own woman. And don't feel like you a failure as a parent because your child has strayed away from the teachings that you taught them. Saying that, I had 2-parent household. Most people don't believe that shit. You feel me? 2-parent household, middle class, and shit. I ain't had to want for nothing. I had a nice childhood.
Yes, sir. So now, sometimes not having to want for something can be a detriment to your overall upbringing. You know what I mean? If you never had any real struggles, you never had to actually, put in any real work for anything. Is it that type of, do you mean that type of life where everything was kind of given to you?
Oh, hell nah. Hell nah. What I'm saying is, when I say nice, I mean I'm grateful. You know what I'm saying? Certain things people might complain about, I wasn't a child to complain about. Certain things people might have went through, you know what I'm saying, I probably did go through, but internalize it in a different way where I can, you know what I'm saying, let that shit out and it don't affect me in the long run. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, based off just growing up, everything been good for me within my eyes on how I see life and perceive life. on life being just life. You know what I'm saying? You can't just allow certain shit to really affect you and bring it to adulthood. So I understand that at an early age.
Okay. Well, you said something there about, sometimes your children might grow up and have a totally different outlook, live differently than how you raised them, and you shouldn't feel like a failure if your children does that, because people are going to do what they're going to do, right?
Yeah.
So I guess I take from that you would believe that by the way you were raised, your parents wouldn't be proud of the things that you said, or that the way that you are right now.
Oh no, not at all. They spoke with me about it, but the thing is, it is my life. I respect my parents, but it's like they can't convince me to feel otherwise than what I feel. You know what I'm saying? How I feel. They can talk to me. They can give me guidance. They can, you know what I'm saying, do all that. But at the end of the day, it falls on me.
Sure. Do you mind sharing with us a bit? Like, say, what's some things that your father might have said to you, some things your mother might have said to you when they heard it? Like, what's some things they might have said to convince you to maybe go get your children and do what they did with you, raise you?
My mom specifically said, if any one of these women come and reach out to me some way somehow, and I found out to have something in my spirit that this might be one of your children, I'm gonna do the DNA test myself. And I'm sorry, let me turn this off. I'm gonna do the DNA self myself and see if those my grandbabies. And my pastor is like, he's like, man, I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you how to do it. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to recommend these things and stuff like that. So my parents is understanding. It's like they can't force me. I'm a grown ass man. So he's like, they understand. They understand, but they don't agree.
Right. And see, listen, the thing about it now, when I first heard the video, the first thing I thought was he's trolling. Now, and I say that because you say your point with such like power and like articulate, right? So it's almost like I wanted to do something like this.
Yeah.
Okay, because I see a lot of women talk this way, right? So I wanted to do videos where I would behave like a guy who acted just like that, parallel, so they could see how messed up it was, kind of, you know what I mean? So when I saw your video, I'm like, man, he beat me to the punch, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna review the video as if it's real, but I don't think you guys dead serious, right? But you dead serious.
I'm dead serious.
That is crazy, bro.
That's crazy.
But listen, now this is exactly how the ladies sound when it comes to the rules of engagement around them carrying children. I talked about this a while back when that Roe v. Wade thing was going on, right? And women were saying we still want a right to eliminate our children, and I'm saying, yo, you want a right to something that's a government procedure to be able to eliminate your children, right? But if they take it full term, the man is responsible and he can't walk away, right? The government's going to make it so he's liable. But if they want to end their pregnancy, they can. But if a man says, please have this baby for me, right? I always wanted a child. Please give me my child. If she wants to say no, she can say no. And it's completely up to her. And after that fact, she's not called a deadbeat, right? She gets no punitive treatment in the community at all.
That happened to me early on, which kind of shaped the way I think in the first place. I was dating one of my ex-girlfriends. This is what I write about in my book too. I was dating one of my ex-girlfriends, and she fucked around and got an abortion behind my back. I ain't have no say so. You feel me? So within that, that's a traumatic experience.
You think that's kind of what triggered it? Was that before?
That made me come into a realization that men don't have the right or the choice to be a father after the intercourse. Zero. Right. Zero. You know what I'm saying? Accident or on purpose. That really woke me up to say, damn, all these dudes, it just made me just go into a frenzy. Like all these men may probably actually didn't even want these particular children, but they had no say so. They both probably laid down and had intercourse, and the outcome was she being pregnant. I feel like both of them are liable, but he has no say so if he want to be a father or not. It's up to that woman. But I don't agree with that being fair. If the man don't want the child and the woman have the child, he should at least have a right not to be involved. You know what I'm saying? And at least have a system put in place where he can give up his rights where it doesn't garnish any of his checks. You know what I'm saying? Or him being liable for a child he didn't want. Now in the future, maybe I come around, maybe they come around, but I don't think that shit fair. I don't think it's fair. Life not fair. You feel me? I understand that. But it is what it is. Like, she got the power to abort, sign the rights over, give it up to adoption, or leave it at the hospital. What rights do the man have? And I think about this shit. What if men start fighting for rights?
I listen, I agree. We 100% should fight for rights. But what my thing is, what specific rights? I think we're getting lost kind of in the sauce. I look at it like, okay, I don't believe women should be eliminating their children. Number one, I believe that should be done. You should protect yourself before it gets that far. But once the child is inside of you, I don't believe it's your body. I believe it's God's body. It's the baby's body. You understand? That's how I see it. So I believe once she's pregnant, y'all are pregnant, and y'all bringing forth new life, which is you two becoming one. Your DNA and hers, all your ancestors from before is now in this child, and y'all supposed to cultivate this life and bring it to fruition, right? This is how I see it. So, but I believe that what's happened with our world is, I call it the matrix or the machine world, right? They give us access to things that nature doesn't. You carry a child, you got to carry that child. But they say, okay, you can eliminate the pregnancy. Well, if you're not ready, if you don't have enough money, if you didn't like him, you know, if it was bad for your health, which we understand that one. If someone raped you, we understand that one, right? So we get all of that, right? But as far as it goes, like, I'm just going to have multiple eliminations, right? And keep doing this like it's just part of, like, you know, avoiding having a baby. I don't believe you should be able to do that. So whenever they raised the Roe v. Wade question, my thing was, I agree that we shouldn't be able to do that. This would make us all be accountable. You see what I'm saying? Now, so, but they get to do that. And they say, well,
at one point, I agree with that until I realized it don't matter what the fuck men think about this. You feel me? It's everything what women feel about it, which is crazy. Like, I believe I should have a say so. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
And
I believe so, but like,
right. But see, when they say it's their body, they're talking, okay, I carry the child. This child literally pulls vitamins from my bones, from me. It's depleting me of energy to even give this baby life. So, we can understand, but it's not to say that you're not going to use your very energy to maintain that child and take care of that child for 18 years after this, even give your own life to protect that child's life. So I think we're even. You give me 9 months for the child to be in your body, I give it 18 years or longer for me to take care of it once it leaves your body. I think we even after that. So, but they'll have that complaint. It's their body. We get that. But like you said, if we raise ours and say, well, it's my life, then okay, now it's like, okay, wait a second, that's not fair. And that's what the ladies are saying, but here's the difference. Now, first, I'm gonna tell you how I feel about this, so you can see so you can see my view on it. I think eliminating a child is worse than abandoning one. Okay, so because the child actually gets a life, they get to live though. See, I grew up without a father, right? And that sucks, man. That sucks. Like, if you never had somebody to speak life into you, tell you who you were, and you got to find that through other people, other men older than you, it sucks, man. I'm serious. You grow up thinking your daddy don't love you. You grow up thinking that you're not good enough. You know what I'm saying? So it sucks. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if I had a choice to come to this world with a father or not at all, I'd rather come in the world without a father, man. So I would have loved to have the opportunity at life regardless. So to me, it's like when you eliminate that child, you eliminating the whole legacy, every child that can ever come through them, right? Whatever they was going to come to earth to do, it's done. So I think eliminating a child is worse. However, the child is not alive to see you abandon them afterwards. So I also believe if a child is here, you just can't abandon them. Only because we've all been children, man, and we all know we need family coming into this world. So even though she's wrong for bringing it to term when you didn't want it, once the child gets here, it ain't about her. It's about the child. The child needs you, and the child's going to grow up without you. And I have this thing where I call it looking through the eyes of God, right? In the moment, it makes so much sense. They're not acting right. And I grew up as a child thinking daddy didn't love me. I wasn't good enough. But as I grew up, I had that same epiphany you had, that this is not the case. Men are not leaving their children saying they're not good enough for me. That is not what's happening. It's through either them arguing, can't get along about this child, him not wanting this child and her bringing it to term anyway, her tricking it on him, it being somebody else's. I mean, I done seen a lot go on behind paternity, right? So I know there's multiple reasons men are not in their children's life, but the children grow up broken regardless. You see what I'm saying? So now that I'm older, I realize men don't walk away from their children because they don't love them. That's not the case. It's something else though. But either way, they're being tricked out of their birthrights because that's your legacy. And so, like in the moment, either the women that you got the children with, the logic that you're using to not take care of the children, all of that makes sense. But looking through the eyes of God is, you know, that you got to look in the past, the present, and the future. And in the future, those babies will be grown. Now, I don't know if you got girls or boys, but I can see them walking up to you, wanting to get to know you, asking you those questions like, man, why wasn't you there? To me, even though what you're saying makes sense, it wouldn't make sense to them. They're going to be looking through a different lens. You see what I'm saying? They're going to have a different, I call us peepholes, like people, but I break the word down into peepholes, saying that we all looking through our own individual keyhole of life. So you see something different than what I see. Yeah. So when you're telling your child, like, look, they was jump offs. I told them I didn't want the child. They brought it to term anyway. And if she didn't want you, she could have got rid of you, even if I wanted you, whatever the case may be. And the rules back then where we were, this is how it was. And that's why I walked away from this, because I wasn't ready. And she did it regardless of what I told her. She could have just killed you. You see what I'm saying? When you tell this child that, could you imagine your child saying, you know what, that makes sense. I understand, Pop, like, you good. Or do you think they're gonna be like, but bro, like, I'm your child, like, I'm your flesh and blood. I'm trying to prepare you for like down that
moment. I led straight direct. You wasn't supposed to be here. And like, that sounds harsh, but me and your mama was being irresponsible. And what came out of that was a child. You feel me? And like you said, your mama had the choice to either get rid of you or bring you to life. You know what I'm saying? I think her bringing you to life gave you a chance to live, but that doesn't mean I wanted to be the father of that particular child. Who knows what you were going to be? Not you individually, just the idea of just having a child with a woman I don't love. And so it's just like it's hard to kind of like break that to a child. You or even an adult that has that inner child in them yearning for that father figure.
Right.
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to break that to them, but it's just like my mind's set right now. But in the future, I never know how I feel. For right now, it's set in stone. I didn't want to have children with these particular women, and I understand I was being irresponsible, and I took accountability for the actions. But most people want me to be responsible for things I said I wasn't going to be responsible for. And it's a difference. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm just being ignorant about it or just being in denial about it. It's just I'm set in stone. I feel like if I can't tell this woman to have my baby, don't tell me to take care of it. You feel me? Don't tell me to take care of it if I can't tell you to have it. And it's just one of them hard truths. And it feel like I'm my own man in the decisions I make. Because what's different and what's gonna fuck the kids up is if they see me with my wife and kids that I actually want. Now that's gonna fuck them up. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not me? Because you were unplanned, unexpected, and the ideal of you was unwanted. That's gonna fuck a child up. And hopefully I had a right words to say, but it ain't nothing right to say. You know what I'm saying? Because the kids gonna want answers. But equally look at me and your mama. You know what I'm saying? When your mama was there, I wasn't. It's because I didn't want to be a father at all. I could have assumed this role as a father if I wanted to, but it's somehow I didn't want to. In some cases, I probably wouldn't even be a good father figure. So some people just think just because you have parents in your life, that's the best thing for them children. Most of these kids are experience molestation from their parents. You know what I'm saying? Experience abuse from their parents. So it's just like I don't think I'll be that type of parent. But what I'm saying is most people just having the thought that the best thing for me to be is in the children life. I don't know that specifically. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that to be true. So it's just like it's one of them hard things. It's one of them hard things to come with terms, especially with a man that I already made up his mind.
And see, I have this thing where I call us towers of Babel. Like we're walking around as people, but we're not really behaving like we're natural beings. We're kind of blasphemous to what you would call God or nature or universe, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a believer in a God, anything that you can say. You could say that if one revealed itself to me, I would believe, but I don't invest in like belief in religion or anything like that. What I call God, though, in concept, is more like natural order of the world, right? We can see how the world acts, right? And so when I hear you talk, I hear logic, solid logic, but it's not natural. It's against nature. Because if you think about this, how do we get babies? We sleep together, right? And we have babies. That's how we do it. We don't need words. So there's no words. So now we get to the point to where we're saying, well, I didn't want them. I told them. Like none of this means that don't create children. You see what I'm saying? So I always say that's a sacred act. We treat it like it's savage, but it is in fact holy. This is how we create people. Like, dude, we are life. Like that's why you get to wake up and live every day, because your parents fucked. You see what I'm saying? Right. It's something so simple, but that's a holy act that creates life. It don't get holier than that. It's crazy, man. You see what I'm saying?
I got you.
So that act is a request to the universe or God for a child. That's what that is. Now we weren't brought up to know that, so we can't we can't judge and be like, you know what that act is about. We pursue that act because it feels good. You see what I'm saying? And even in our most savage state, we didn't think of it as holy. I mean, it feels good. Your body tells you to want it. We don't have any control over that. You know, so but we know we can't defy nature. That's how we multiply. So I always feel like, the natural order of things is, do what nature's supposed to do without thought. When a boy has a child, he's supposed to become a man and create a family. That's just what it is. She could be a jump off, but the problem was in your choices. If she's a jump off, then the mother of your child is a jump off, unfortunately. If he's a drug dealer, then the father of your child is a drug dealer, unfortunately. You're supposed to learn your lessons. And if you're not the man you're supposed to be whenever you get a girl pregnant or you have a child, your child is there to make you that man. See, I believe like that's your future self. So inside of you, you have all these millions of versions of you. And if you don't have any children, your DNA or you don't get into the future. Now, I used to ask myself, why is it a spider will give its life up just to be able to reproduce? Because the only way it can get into the future is to give itself up. And they're willing to die for it. You see what I'm saying? So back in the day, we were too, man. Life wasn't promised. Tomorrow wasn't promised. You had to go out and hunt. You had to worry about diseases and famine. You had to worry about animals infiltrating your own camp. I mean, it just wasn't that safe. We got a whole world around us now that protects us. We actually feel like we don't live in a natural world, but we do, man. Tomorrow's still not promised. So you got to think back in the day, you didn't care if she was a jump off. You didn't care if she had a smart mouth. You was trying to get into the future. Talking didn't mean nothing. If that DNA got to working, you could get into the future. So men simply didn't care. We still don't. Instinctually, we don't care about who we sleep with. But now we got more days on earth. So we should move a little bit more wise. But back then, we didn't have no choice. If she gave us access to the womb, man, we was taking it. Do you understand? And many times we would get access to multiple men because she would give access to multiple men because she'd be like, okay, that one's resourceful. That one's resourceful. That one's resourceful. How can I ensure a future? Hey, I'm gonna sleep with all of them. And if I get pregnant, I'm just gonna tell one of them because she was trying to be protected. They've been doing it forever.
Yeah.
That ain't changed either.
Nah, not at all.
What has changed though is we can go get this paternity test. See, my thing is, man, I grew up angry at men because I didn't have a father in my life. And then when I started understanding some of the things that women do, I became angry at their behavior, right? Now I'm looking at it from a large scope at both of our behavior, right? Women giving themselves up before they have a relationship is creating single mothers. Men sleeping with women without creating a relationship with them is creating single mothers. So for every man that says, I won't marry her, but I'll sleep with her, sleeping with her is what creates the kids, man. And so when you look out here at the community of broken children, you got to say, man, who really created this world? Both of us did. Now, there are some burdens that she carries that we just don't carry. She should never be out here just sleeping with dudes day after day because she has to know who her baby daddy is. Men don't have to worry about that. Man, we was just going around trying to get into the future. So anybody who gave us access, it is what it is. You see what I'm saying? But to her, if she want to be sure about who the father is, she can't move like that. You got to think about history. Now, I know you know statistics. I always say 33% of men who get a DNA test, it comes back that they're not the father. That's crazy. That's 3 out of 10, bro.
I'm gonna tell you a story, but I'm gonna hit on that. I'll tell you a quick story though. I'm gonna hit on that. They said the way that I'm moving is illogical, but it's unnatural. But you see a lot of people within this predicament living an unnatural life. You feel me? So to a point that you might think it is natural. To a point. It's
No,
so
it does.
you feel me? So it's
Even
just
things
like I
your
can understand
response
it.
prove what is natural now. Like right now, you're saying that women are tricking babies on men, poking holes in condoms, sleeping with guys, incentivized to sleep with guys who got money just to trick a baby into them because they know they'll have to pay a large percentage of that money to them. So you can see women using their womb to leverage resources and all types of stuff. So it's like to make a decision from that type of world, you like, yo, I ain't tell you I want a baby. I'm walking away from it. So I'm saying it makes sense when you look at all of that. But like I said, it's still a child involved, and they gonna live past all of this, these arguments. You feel me?
I think my seeds, want it or not, they're gonna grow up to be some strong-minded individuals. So eventually, they'll be able to have a talk. If my DNA in them, if me in them, my blood, my lineage, anything, if it's in them, eventually they'll understand. You know what I'm saying? And it's not something that it's gonna be easy to understand. It ain't. I understand the dynamic of the 2-parent household. You feel me? I went through it, and I seen friends that didn't go through it. You know what I'm saying? But somebody had told me, somebody think that just because you have one parent, that means you're gonna have a life of struggle and traumatic experiences. People with 2 parents are experiencing the same traumatic shit. You just have a better percentage of you having a successful childhood. You know what I'm saying? Out of crime, without getting pregnant young, when you do have 2 parents. But to hit on that, to 33% of men that don't know their kids are theirs or not, or their kids aren't theirs. One of my baby mamas, I actually met her when she was married. And then she couldn't abort the child when I got her pregnant. That one night I met her. Because her husband, the baby probably 4 years old right now. Her husband would have questioned her, why are you aborting our child? So we went behind his back and got the DNA test. And so now it's a man out there with one of my seeds raising a child that he think is his because his wife ain't tell him.
That is crazy, bro.
And so that's a case of me seeming like just one case. I have some crazy stories. Y'all gotta get my book. I'm plugging right now. Y'all gotta get the book. It's got to pre-order it on Amazon. My Life, My Choice, the Book of Pookie. This story is in there, and I go in detail. That's one story where she couldn't get rid of the child, and don't want me to be involved with it, even if I wanted to, because that's going to mess up the relationship she has with her husband of almost damn near 10 years, 15 years probably now. It's a few situations in my book, like, damn, when I say 7 kids, 7 baby mamas, the stories are so fucking crazy. You damn near might understand my position after you hear the rest of the stories. It's crazy, bro.
That is, man, listen, I want you to think about this because this is something I always say, right? You could be married, you could be raising a child that is literally not yours. And you could be in love with this child, seeing your reflection in this child. The mother could be telling you it's got your eyes, your grandmother's hair texture. The whole family on both sides could be tricked into believing this child is theirs, right? Yeah. I talked about with this 33% being the way it is. If you look back through history, history is skewed, right? Whoever you think your grandfather is probably ain't. 33% chances he's not. I mean, this is good. This goes for women too. Their grandfathers too. So it's like we can't just think this is a man problem, right? And so history is screwed up because of lies, right? And here's the kicker. It's not even to point fingers at women specifically. Yeah, women are responsible for knowing who they slept with. They all know inherently if they had more than one partner. They all
Right.
know. But check this out. This is the part that most people are not really thinking about. And you actually represent that. There's a guy somewhere who knocked him up, who's well aware that some other man is raising this child and he ain't doing nothing.
Mm.
So it's like you're equally responsible in ruining the whole legacy because your child is being raised by some other family. 100 years from now, your child will still carry that last name, thinking that he belongs to that great grandfather. So I'm saying you live to see, we create the world we live in.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you got to think about this. This is the damage that we causing.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. Now think about this. You represent something else. You know how they say women sleeping with what, 10% of men?
Yeah.
And the other 90% of men, they don't really get to the women like that. Yeah. And they say women say when women say men ain't shit, they're talking about the 10% of men who get access to all these women. Now listen, I'm in the 10% too, so I get it. I ain't never had a problem in that area. But see, they're looking in a mirror. They're looking at somebody who will have a baby, not take care of it, who will trick a baby on a man and a woman, and they saying men ain't shit. But you're reflecting their behavior.
Yeah.
Like you're literally saying it's okay to do it because they're doing it.
So I'm gonna say this. Do you think that 10% within our community is actually populating our community? So is it more of the man's fault or is it more of the women's fault?
No, it's the woman. The woman gives access to the woman. So I can put it like this. If women were to say, I am not sleeping with men of low standard, men would raise their standards because we want access to the womb. We can't even front about that. They actually can dictate the standards of how men carry themselves, but it wouldn't be right because men are supposed to be the leaders. And so I always hear that and I always say, but what if men said, I'm no longer sleeping with women of low standard. If I don't want a child with you, I'm not sleeping with you. So we all say we want a good woman or a good wife. What if we didn't stop till we found one? What if even we left the country to find one? We know when we sit in front of somebody who ain't worth our time. So if we really set out to find a good woman, bro, we would just take them all. They'd be gone because we would get them.
Yeah.
So we gotta
it goes back to that 10% though. Only the 10% will be able to do that. The other 90, another 80, 90 won't even have a choice to even decide if they wanted a good woman because the woman don't want them.
There you go. There is a huge problem with that 80 to that other 90% of men because they either too short, don't have the finances, they're not funny, don't have the right career, right? We hear all this, the 666. We hear all these different standards that women have, and they seem to all want the 10% of men, regardless of their character, And they're not thinking about what it's going to look like raising a child from that 10% of man, or what it will look like dating that 10% of men who got access to all them women.
That's right.
I always tell them, he ain't gonna value you the same. He's got access to all these different women. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, this is deep, bro. It's deep just to know that to have someone who has that close a view to a situation where somebody would say, you know what, I'm pregnant, I'm married, I can't tell him, and she's not gonna get an abortion because she don't want to tell him, which means she's gonna bring your child into. Listen, I said this the other day. You know how in the Bible it say stone women for having sex outside of marriage or cheating while they're married, right? And how evil that sound, like hit her with rocks until she died because she was having sex outside of marriage. Like just divorce her, just ostracize her, kick out, excommunicate her, but don't stone her, right?
Yeah.
I said this the other day. Think about this. A God sees all things, right, and knows all things. So if a God knows a cheating woman will just cover it up and pin the baby on the father and have him raise somebody else's legacy along with his mother, his grandparents, and everybody forever, why wouldn't he think that's worthy of stoning? You see what I'm saying? A child is something for real. Like, do you have any children that you take care of?
No.
Okay. Could you imagine discovering your father wasn't yours?
I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine that, but just the way I think, I don't think it matters. It don't matter. Because like how you can adapt, like you say, I know it's a difference between a father and a mother relationship, but along our journey, we gain more fathers and mothers. That's not our blood. You feel me? We gain these father figures. It can be a coach. It could be a teacher. It could be a boss. We gain these figures. In my eyes, as long as it's there and presents itself as such, I couldn't imagine my dad being not my dad. But at this point, it is what it is. Like I'm too grown to just be like, oh,
Let's take you there. Let's take you there because
I do
I
it.
think first and foremost you need your gods, right?
Mhm.
Your gods, the people who created you. When you see
Yeah.
children grow up their whole life and discover their parents aren't theirs, maybe they were adopted, maybe the father just met her when she was pregnant and just raised them as his own, whatever the case may be. But often what I find is children at least want to know who this man is. They want to know who the other half of their creation. They want to know if they got his personality or smile or something.
Mhm.
We just want to know, right? So I'm just saying, like, if you take that away, your direct contact with your ancestors, you find out he's not your father. Okay, your mother might say, well, I can't tell you who he was then. I can't. At the time, it was the 70s, the disco ball, and we didn't ask questions. We was just getting down. So all these morals y'all have today, don't apply them to me because back then, nobody that lived around me was thinking like that. We was just doing it. We just was, you know what I'm saying, in the disco club. We know this, right?
Yeah.
My thing is, I know it would devastate you that that's not your actual biological father. But my question is, would you not want to know who he was? Like, would you not say, man, who do I look like, or like who do I, you know what I'm saying? You wouldn't want to know who you was made after.
Nah, I probably wouldn't. Some of that shit don't even just matter to me. I don't think into that. And I think our parents are just a vessel for our soul. You just don't know. I don't know who my parent was in my last life. You feel me? Or in my next life. This is just a vessel. I don't think in that sense of the flesh and the makeup of my vessel, this vehicle. This is just a vehicle. You
Nah, but
feel
you
me?
listen, you do though. Remember earlier you said your children, if they have your DNA, they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
be strong, they're gonna be
Mm-hmm.
smart
It
because
should be
you know,
200.
your DNA, like
Mm-hmm.
our DNA has been worked on by our ancestors. So
Mm-hmm.
did you know that let's say you learn how to play piano today?
Yeah.
Did you know if you have a child after you learn, your child will be more prone to be able to pick that skill up
Mm-hmm.
because you can change your genetics by what you do. So
You got
what you
I'm gonna cut y'all right quick, but this is what I'm saying. If we get into it, our blood is a liquid. Water contains the information within our DNA, which is passed on. This is the information within our body that we are passing on to these children, in which the downloads. This is where they're coming from. So when I say this is just a vessel, it is. But since it's my vessel, if I pass it along and impregnate a woman, they're gonna have that attachment to that mothership or whatever you want to call it, that original. You know what I'm saying, where the DNA come from. Me looking at my parents, yeah, I have part of their DNA, I have this, but the soul, the spirit is not theirs. It doesn't come from them. You
no,
feel
no,
me?
no, 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 that doesn't. But your like I call that the consciousness of God. But then the
Yeah.
flesh, the body of God, the physicality of God is
Mm-hmm.
our flesh, right? So that's why I mean
Yeah.
that's what you pull from to draw all of your talent from is your biological vessel. That's where
Yeah.
all that lies. You're tapping into your biological vessel to have all those talents. Your soul, if it was in a different vessel, it wouldn't be able to access all the schools, all the skills that's made up of the soup you're made of. So let's
Mm-hmm.
say your father and mother, their mother and father, on both sides, all the way down to life, till time began. Your ancestors been working on stuff and passing it down every time they died. So
Mm-hmm.
what you have is your vessel, which is a baton. It's full of nothing but all your ancestors' doings. So it's things you can do that you don't even know you can do.
Yeah.
But that's your vessel. So that's what I'm saying by your offspring. Okay, is your future selves. They are you in a girl's body. They're you in a boy's body in a different year. So that's you living again. This is how you get into the future. So if you were in them and you could see the world through their eyes and think for them, and you know they want you, and they would want to have you in their life. Now I know you're saying to yourself, okay, what if I'm not the best father? What if I wouldn't be this way or that way? I'm saying that's part of the thought process, the idle thought that we don't need. You should just do it. You never know what's behind you doing what you're supposed to do as a man. When you have that child, it is scary. But
Yeah.
whenever you confront that obstacle, it channels something in you. It wakes something else up in you. I believe you missing it. Not by way of like breaking morals. I'm
Yeah.
saying if you actually were to pour yourself into your 7 children,
And
you
experience
will
it.
be unlocked. It's parts of you
Mm-hmm.
that you have yet to know. You see what I'm saying?
I
Because
believe that.
huh?
I believe that.
Yeah, and because of right now, if you avoiding those things, you'll never see your greatest self. So every time we avoid accountability for anything that we've done on this planet, we are in sin. We're denying our greatest self. You got to always say to yourself, I am every good decision I ever made. I'm every bad decision I ever made. Owning up to that is literally the definition of a man. We don't see this reflected in our female counterparts. We don't need to reflect it back. Our way of leading is literally setting the example. That's why I say we can put the blame on them for who they open their legs up to. But man, listen, we running up in there. Every time I see a video where it's a woman saying, I slept with 200 dudes in one day, I'm questioning the dudes. I'm questioning the men. How is it that you see a grenade and you running to jump on top of it?
I wouldn't.
You can blame her. I mean, I get it, but yo, if she got a disease, you can say it's her fault, but all y'all got it, right? So that's why I say we both got to take the accountability for the life we create for ourselves. Who holds the majority of the burden? Women do. No, hands down, they do. They do. And so they should choose the men they sleep with wiser. But we as men need to make better decisions too. And you got to think like this. You might not care what people say, but I know somewhere it bothers you that these 7 children out here don't have a father at least.
No, not even a little bit. I can't understand. And they say it's heartless, but it don't bother me, bro. I think it's just something in me. It don't bother me, bro. It don't.
Wow.
It could be sad. It could be sad. It could be sick. It could be whatever it is. It don't bother me. Because in my mind, it's stuck on that we both made this mistake. And we both have a choice. You feel me? We both have a choice.
What if they say I made a mistake, but you're still making the mistake? Like, I know I brought a child into this world that you told me not to, but man, the child is in this world now. And like, forgive me for doing you wrong, but your child needs you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I might have a difference in the opinion if those type of women was to approach me in that type of way. But you bitch ass nigga,
Right.
You
Listen,
can't get
that's why a lot of men will walk away even from the child.
Yeah.
A lot of I've seen men do that because of how she treats him, because she weaponizes the child, call him a deadbeat at every chance he get. I watch paternity court and I watch men say, I left because she kept calling me a deadbeat.
Yeah.
It's like, you stop judging so harshly. Work with the person. Because we don't really do that. We don't really follow behind mothers telling them how to be a mother and what criteria makes them a good mother. And we didn't grow up with that. We all grew up knowing exactly how to judge a man. If he don't spend enough time, he a deadbeat. If he don't give enough money, if he don't buy this and that, we got reasons to call him a deadbeat. We don't even know what constitutes a woman to be a deadbeat, man. And that's why I say we got to do better, because the community's out of balance, because we don't hold women accountable. It's because of that men like yourself are saying, you know what? If all these laws are in place so she don't have to be accountable, then fuck it, I ain't gonna be accountable either. But I'm saying at the end of the day, the only person who losing like that is the child. Now, don't get me wrong, you do lose. It's an eternally a loss, because you didn't get to have spend the life cultivating your seed, your legacy. So that child, 100 years from now, how many mistakes have they made because they didn't get to know you? How will they raise their children? Because they won't get to say, I was raised by my mama and daddy. They'll say, I never even knew, I don't even know who my daddy is. Like, that's what your reflections are going to be saying. In this lifetime, you were able to say, I got my mama and my daddy. But your children won't be able to say that unless, of course, you make some corrections. I wanted to ask you this.
It might just, I believe in reincarnation. It might be just an experience their soul has to experience.
No, I see that. I believe in reincarnation in that way. That's why I talk about that. That's your future self. The way you get here again is through reincarnating through the womb of a woman. So she's giving you life again. This is why you're grateful and say, I'll care for you and that child.
Oh, I had something. Bro, this is totally off topic. But you know, at a certain age, you come to realize who you are. Do you think that's like an inkling of you being reincarnated? If you realizing who you were within your own seed, say like what every 5 years the brain changed, the mind changed, and you adapted in certain type of consciousness every time you grow. Do you think? Nah, that's a different conversation, bro. That's a different one.
No, but I can see that. I
That-
can see that when I'm having conversations with my children.
Mhm,
It's like talking to myself. So when I
mhm,
give them information that I never had, if I learn
mhm,
something today, I teach it to them now so they can be 15, 20 years in the future. You
mhm.
see what I'm saying? So you know how they say when you go to the past, don't change a thing because you can mess up the future.
True.
I feel like we all technically live in the past. You don't hear what I say until I've already said it. You
Yeah.
don't see the light from the sun until it's already shined. It's got to make it to you. So
Yeah.
we are living in the past. So everything you do today is affecting the future. And so that's why I tread lightly. You see what I'm saying? I watch the decisions I make because I know that accountability looks like consequences. And
Mhm.
none of us can avoid consequences. That's
That's
why I
right.
say no matter what you say, if you don't take the steps to get a vasectomy, wear a condom or whatever, the consequences could be a baby. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, to say that, I get a lot of people in the comments saying, why didn't he wear a condom?
Mhm.
Why didn't he get a vasectomy? What do you say to people who say that to you?
I was being irresponsible. It's that simple. Like everybody, I'm gonna say this: everybody in the motherfucking comments not wearing protection. Everybody in the, especially, I say this all the time. Women are not even telling men to wear protection. You feel me? So they can say a lot that happened in the past. I was being irresponsible in the past. So I don't know why I did some of the shit I did. You want me to answer a question about some shit I don't even know about. It just happened. You feel me? Like
So just in the moment. And that, listen,
in the
I'll say
moment.
this. I know that for men, uh, whenever they are aroused, blood leaves their brain. So they don't
Mm.
make the exact same decisions as they would when they were sober, right? It's
Sure, right.
literally likened to being on alcohol. That's why I question ads that tempt men to buy things with showing a woman's body. I think it's wrong for a woman to seduce a man to lower his prices.
Mm.
I think we all think it would be wrong if a gay man seduced another gay man to lower his prices, or a woman seduced another lesbian to lower her prices, to make them think they were interested and they weren't, playing them against, what they're
Yeah.
attracted to, manipulating them based on them seducing them, right? We would
Mm.
say that's wrong, but that's socially acceptable in our world to do a man that way. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? To lure him, so to speak. And in those moments, we don't make the best decisions. That's why I always say men got to have principles, like decisions you've already made before the situation. I will always wear a condom, or I ain't
Yeah.
doing it. You see what I'm saying? I always have one with me. Because if a man finds himself in the position to do that and he don't have a condom, he gonna go anyway if she allows it. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I've heard men say she didn't even smell good, and
Yeah.
still he did it anyway. You see what I'm
Hell
saying? They say
nah.
men can do it with a hole in the wall. And to me, I tell you, women think that says a lot about men and their standards, but men simply are breeders. We don't really look at that like that. We can sleep with you and you not meet our standards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So a lot of times they think if you sleep with them, then somehow they can be with you. They don't mean that at all. You see what I'm saying? Like it just don't. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It's one of those things where I can see how women behave, I can see how men behave, and I know the only way to clean it up is if we both make a decision to say, you know what, we don't want the world we live in, we don't want the community to be the way it is. That's got to look like something. How do we change the situation if not being more mature or being more, disciplined around sex? You see what I'm saying? Because nobody's saying don't have sex, but they saying, look, if you know for sure you don't want to have children, what's worse? You going and getting a little snip that you can get undone, or children being out here literally thinking that you don't love them and feeling
Mm.
empty inside and not knowing who they are. What's worse? You see what I'm saying? Like for me, if I know I definitely don't want children to the point where I'll walk away from them, I'll get a vasectomy. Now,
Yeah.
I understand. Now, my thing is like, I understand what you're saying as far as we've all had sex without condoms. We've all did it without thinking about the consequences. We all reflect you in that way. But I think most of us are saying, yo, but if we have children, we'll take care of it. At least I think that's what most men are saying on here. Like, I think that's what their gripe is with you. They probably grew up without a parent, a father, and a lot of that's probably pouring out on you. Because I heard you say in one interview that you get more people speaking at you towards disagreeing with you. You get more men doing that than women.
Yeah.
And mostly women will be like, yo, that's your truth. I understand where you're coming
Understand
from.
it. Yeah. Right.
But you
Most
know
women.
they understand it because they have that foolish logic, right?
Yeah.
So that ain't saying a lot because you
Yeah.
don't really agree with what they're doing, right?
I can't control what a woman do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, but how would you? I know you don't care what you say, but how would you feel about that? If you on the other side trying to be born again, you reincarnate, and the person that you reincarnate, man, about to go take you to the clinic. Okay, like how you feel about that? Like,
shit, I wouldn't know until I take that first breath and know I'm back. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I can speculate about those type of things. It's something to think about later today, but I wouldn't.
that's what I call seeing through the eyes of God. Is like trying to see through everybody's perspective at the same time, and then you won't think selfishly. You won't think in the moment, because somebody can definitely get you. They can do you what you feel like is wrong. Like, and I know you would feel slighted if she can go take a plan B, because y'all both did it without a condom.
And don't
right?
take me.
She could have took a plan B, right?
That was one of my situations. Yeah.
Right. Then she could have aborted it. She didn't do that. You're saying to her, once she says, I'm pregnant, I don't want this baby. And she did it despite that.
Yeah.
I can understand how furious you'd be. And now you want me to take care of something that I told you I didn't want. I get it. In the moment, that decision you make is an ego, though. And it's not considering the child, it's considering what you feel like at that moment is right. That's why I say I understand your truth. I just believe that with your intellect, years down the road, you're going to have some heavy regrets. I believe that with the right knowledge, you can speed up time for somebody. So I was hoping maybe I could say some things to you, not to change your mind, but when you have more knowledge, you can make a better decision.
True.
You see what I'm saying? So I do believe.
I was just about to say that. I didn't think the same way. I don't think as nearly as how I used to. So it's progressing. You feel me? At first, I didn't care to talk. What these niggas gonna try to say to me? But now I jump on here and listen to, especially, man, I'm gonna listen to what y'all gotta say. A woman can't tell me shit because she might not ever feel this way as a man. You know what I'm saying? Probably never can even relate. You know what I'm saying? So when men talking, I listen to you. I take that in consideration. Like you said, it might not change me, but at least you can kind of plant a small seed that might grow later. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not
I see you as having an opportunity. I think you're very smart. I think you have a very keen perspective and outlook on life. The way you express yourself is definitely showing. It reveals your intellect. And I believe that you got 7 tribes, 7 children who could benefit from that intellect. So I think that I don't know where you get this doubt that you wouldn't make a good parent, a good leader, a person who can give advice, but you seem to take in information well and make a solid decision from it, and a very logical one, whether or not it's moral or not. You're able to stand on your own 2 feet, despite people disagreeing with you. That is a man, bro.
Yeah.
Good or evil, bro. A God is going to wreak havoc or a beautiful creation.
Yeah.
There's nobody going to stop a man, regardless of what, if you set out to do good or evil. So there's nobody going to be there to morally check you. What you have to know is, though, is nobody can avoid consequences, not even a God. You see what I'm saying? Nobody can. And so you're not going to be able to take your own regret. You're not going to be able to get the time back that you lost. You can make relationships up. I would never tell you that. I used to do prison ministry where I would encourage men to go back and build relationships with their children, and their children were always receptive to them. So I ain't telling you in 10 years they won't be like, yeah, I want to get to know you. They probably will. You know what I mean? But think about the knowledge that you know, and if you were to take the time to pour that into your children, how you could change the world for the better. Because information, man, is what we fight with. You're right. Men need to start standing up, speaking the truth that you're saying. Even if we're still going to take care of our children, we need to start contending them with this logic, and we need to start voting to have more rights as well. Because consider this. What if you told her, I want to have a child, and she said no? And now we vote that we at least got to sign off on it too before you can eliminate our legacy, right? You slept with us, you've given us access not to just to your womb, but to legacy. So you're not eliminating my child when you slept with me, right? So if she says you're the father, she has to have your signature to be able to eliminate that child. If she doesn't know the father, she has to bring it to full term. That's her own negligence, and she cannot do anything about that. And you can't hold no guy liable after that, right?
Yeah.
Now, think about this. If she eliminates this child, despite you signing off on it, what if she has to pay you for 18 years? Because she took your legacy from you and destroyed your legacy. What if she has to compensate you for pain and suffering?
If we had,
what would the world look like?
if we had some shit like that in place, more women will be getting married. There'll be less promiscuous women. There'll be less children born out of the wedlock sense, and there'll be less children that are mistakes if we had something like that, because that's going to hold a woman more accountable, and she's going to be more selective to who she give her body. This
Right.
it's a method to the madness.
What about this? What if she tells you a child is yours, and when you get the paternity test, it is not? What if the rule was the father, the actual father of that child, gets first dibs on that child, and the mother would lose custody for overall, just for lying about it and being willing to trick that baby off on another man? She was willing to steal that child's father from that child, even if it was for his resources, so the child can live better. You don't have a right to steal a child's father. So what if that being the case, the mother would have to give the child up to the actual father? Do you think women would still trick babies on men? Because they can't take their money from them now. What if you could prove, hey, she poked a hole in the condom, and this meant you get first dibs on getting your whole child, and you never have to deal with them? What if they said, we always gonna make laws to better the child, but we'll give the child to the man, and she don't even give access to the child now? What you think women would do then? You think that would stop them from doing some of this stuff?
Yeah. Women will be less promiscuous. It'll be harder for a nigga like me to get one of these women if they had that implement. I still get them, but it just that will that's it. The systems have to hold us the same way that the child support shit holds the men accountable. That system will hold these women accountable.
Listen, bro, it has to. We don't care enough about our own communities to change the way we behave. So you actually, it's crazy. I don't believe in government, bro. I really don't. I don't believe a man should go to jail for anything other than a crime that hurts others, like robbing somebody, killing somebody, raping. I don't think a man should go to jail for not taking care of his children. Even though I think that's horrible, I don't think that's a crime that the government should be able to use you for free labor for. They're going too far. And the sheer fact that that's the law shows you the problem with that they can lock you up. Like, look, the child don't get you as a father if they lock you up. It don't do nothing for the child. So the sheer fact that they can do that, it is a problem. So, but I don't believe in government. However, it seems that we need somebody to govern us because we don't care enough about our communities. So socially, they should have social laws that if a woman tricks a baby on a man and he finds out that it's not his, he should be able to sue her for paternity fraud. She should have to go to jail for the time that she had him raising that child. I mean, you have to do something that's so bad she won't do that. They want a whole legacy and heritage, man.
They won't do none of this shit. They benefit off the family being separated instead of the woman, the child, and the man being in one house. Now they either go get a apartment, the mom go get an apartment, the dad go get an apartment, a house or another house, 2 vehicles, 2 insurance. They benefit off of single parent homes. Why would they implement a system that's going to help women be more accountable to get the family back together? It's not gonna happen. It should. It would eliminate my hypocritical views sometimes.
That's what I was wondering. Overall, would that change how you perform? Because it seems that
it will. I've already changed.
Huh?
Look, I've already changed. We speaking on my past, but what people want me to be is responsible for my past when I already have my mind set. You feel me? I've changed a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's just a different route. I'm just gonna stand on what I feel about these things. You know what I'm saying? And maybe in the future, something will change. We never know. You know what I'm saying? We living in the past and the future simultaneously. You would never know what the 7 kids and 7 baby mamas doing. You feel me? Maybe we all living under one roof because I've been in polygamous relationships. I rather what works for me, monogamous or polygamy. If maybe it's a sense of I have majority of those women in these kids under one roof. I like that better. I'm not trying to bounce from house to house to house off of my bad decisions that I made. If we can get under one roof, I might can consider something like that because now it's more control. Instead of trying to deal with a woman and she might have a man that's raising it's you know what I'm saying? And it's a bit selfish for a man to be out of his children's life for say 10 years and they have a stepfather that's raising that child and you trying to come in and just because that's your seed by nature, you know what I'm saying? Because you planted that seed in that woman, that child is now growing. It's a bit fucked up because that man had to assume that responsibility. Now, if that child wants that relationship, then I can understand it. But to just say, oh, now I want to be a part of something when you didn't already abandon the child. See, I can see it both. I can see it in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
But I'll say this too. If you want anybody to ask questions, I got to be on another one in about 30 minutes, 30,
Okay.
40 minutes. So, we can spare 10, 15 minutes. If
Okay, that's
you
a
want
bet. That's a bet. Let's see. How can we do this? Let me see, guys. I'm gonna put the link again in the comments. You guys want to hop on here and be able to ask the brothers some questions? You definitely can.
Hey,
Okay.
you can be respectful or disrespectful. I like both.
You heard him, right, y'all? So if you be respectful, he will give you respect. Be disrespectful, you'll get that right back. I don't think he has no problem reflecting what's happening to him. Okay. Let me see. How do I do this invite? I was going to ask you a question real quick. What was I about to say? All right, guys, the link is in the comments. Use the link. You can hop on, and I'll try to do this thing where the room is not too flooded. So once I get enough people, I'll say hold off for the time being. So I guess I'll wait until I get about 2 or 3 people.
You said you was going to ask a question.
Yeah, something about the daggum. Yeah, what's your how old is your oldest?
Bro, I don't know. I think started around 19.
Okay.
Whatever that is. 19.
How old are you now?
27.
27. Okay. So around
8
like
years. 8.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's what I say about something about like 9 years, 8, 9 years. Wow. So I have brother Clarence in the room. You there? You there, brother Clarence?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm trying to get
cool.
work, but yeah, I'm here.
Okay, fantastic. Do you feel like you're ready to be able to ask the question you need to ask?
Yeah, I was I was in the comments, man, going pretty hard at brother, man. But shout out to him, man, for having the the nuts to come up here and express and explain his position. But my question to him was, is he moving a different way today? Because we can forgive the past. We all made mistakes in the past, but if you're still moving that way today, bro, I'm just having an issue with if you're doing this currently.
I wasn't doing it back then intentionally. It was an accident. You know what I'm saying? Today I move a little bit more safe, a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, careful, because I got more access to it now. So you got to be responsible.
Okay, because so when you say you're moving different, that does that mean like you're more careful as far as having sex with the women and
Exactly.
who you have sex with and protecting yourself?
Exactly.
Okay, because that's the only thing, brother. We would just see. I think that the misunderstanding that everybody has is that you are still currently in that mentality,
Yeah.
and that I think you probably have less issues if you explain that up front. Hey, this is what I was doing. I'm doing this now, and so you know what I mean. And now another question I have to ask you: do you have any regrets about any of this stuff that had happened in the past, where you looking back at it now, you'd say, I do it differently?
No, I ain't got no regrets. But I will do it differently. It's a different. You got to live and you learn. You know what I'm saying? You grow from the bullshit that you wasn't paying attention and think it was okay. I don't even think I thought it was okay. I was just doing me. But I don't got no regrets. I never regret anything in my life. If I hurt somebody or if I did something wrong, I don't regret, because I ain't gonna say it's intentionally, but I know where I'm at and what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I had a choice I had choices. I might not have made the right choices, but I had choices. Why would I regret a choice when I had one? You know what I'm saying? So I don't got no regrets.
Last question. Last statement I'm gonna make. Okay, so I disagree with y'all, man. And I usually don't disagree with Kev, man. Kev is usually right on the money, but I disagree with y'all on the fact that that it's all on the woman. I think it's more on the man. And so I guess that's what I was going to ask you. Why do you, well, either one of you, feel that it's more on the woman when it's the man that's actually bringing the live germ to the party?
I'll give you an analogy if I can.
Okay.
I think he muted. Kevin, you muted.
My bad. Before you go in, brother. So I didn't say that it's all on the woman. I understand the women carry a heavy burden when it comes to that because she's access to the womb. What makes her more of the burden to me is because if she says no, it's no. And men often are ready, regardless of what vibration a man is on. He could be a lawyer, he can be a pookie. If she lets us do it on the first night, we're going to. The gentleman will and the player will. So because we understand that and we know it's when she's ready, then she should not allow us in there. Because if we were to try and take that, it's a crime.
It's a crime.
So because we know the rules of engagement, that burden is on her. However, for men, even if a woman offers it to you, we love when women try to give it to us quick. We love a one-night stand. I believe that should turn us off because of the consequences of it. You don't know that woman. Why give your seed to? I think we was raised in hookup culture, and so we think that's something to brag about, and it's not. So that burden is on the man. So if a woman walked up to you and said, "Hey, I want you. Let's go in the bathroom right now." Let's be real. Most men would do it. But what I'm saying is most men shouldn't do it. We should say, okay, man, she could be pregnant already trying to trick something on me. She could be loose and already have something. We should consider the consequences. That shouldn't turn us on. That's what I was going to say. I'll let the brother go in.
But Kev, my question is, okay, I hear what you're saying that most men would do it, but don't we have the option to not do it?
Sure, and we should use that option. That's why I say that's our burden. We should not do that.
That's my point.
We should have more principles when it comes to that. Absolutely. That means we are the leaders. So even though it's their burden, we should set the example. And even if she loose, we should say we're not going to do it. And that would stop what's happening in our communities, right? If men were to say we're not doing it no more.
Right.
But that ain't realistic though. Y'all and we all men right here. Y'all know how hard, but y'all older men. So now y'all probably got me about 5-10 years. You feel me? Y'all older men.
I got about 20, brother.
You said you were 27?
Yeah.
27. Yeah, I'm 40.
So at 21, but look, for example, between 18 and 21, me and my partners at that age, we wanted to see who can fuck 100 bitches first. You know what I'm saying? If y'all might have went through this,
we used to think like that too. That's what I'm saying. We lived like that. We thought it was something. That's why I say it's not though. We were taught the wrong way.
Even with parents, most of my friends had their fathers, bro. Even with us thinking this way, bro, we wanted to see who can fuck 100 bitches first, bro. So saying that like it's gonna be our choice or whatever, we know we have a choice, but it's just like that urge. That's like one of the most if a man can control his urge of sex and what he puts in his body, then that's a disciplined man. It's hard to control that urge.
Right. If you oversatiate it, you can lose either way.
For the thing is, as a man, I am a guest to this woman's body. She allowed me to enter. I'm a guest. So it just depends how she allowed me to enter. Because as a man, I'm not thinking about no fucking kid. I'm not thinking about STDs. I'm thinking about getting a nut. So as this woman, she bears the bulk of the responsibility because how would you allow me to enter you? You feel me?
I'm hearing what you're saying. It's just not computing, man, because I feel like we as men, we can say, you know what? I don't know this girl enough. I don't know enough about her to dive in right now. I feel like, but like Kevin said, we're getting taught the wrong. We're getting hypersexualized as young men. You get hypersexualized.
And now the women are. We see what that looks like.
Right. And so, I mean, you can't even watch the BET Awards now. So we get this hypersexualized, right? So it's up to us to put that kind of culture away or try to get our young men to not be sexualized or not focus on that, right? And that's the whole thing about the fathers being around. It help us in that. It help us get that done because when young men don't have a man that they can look at and say, man, that's a disciplined man. That's a kind of man I want to be. That's what we all do as young men. We all look at a man and say, we're looking for that man that we can say, I want to be like him, right? But when we don't find that man, what man do we find? The pimps, the hustlers, the dope boys, whatever, right? And we get caught up in their culture.
Check this out. It's true. It's truly culture, Brother Clarence. We even have a rites of passage. This is what you do to become a man, and that's often behind how many women you can sleep with.
Right.
Listen, my father told me when I was a young man, I was still a virgin. He asked me, "Have you ever had sex?" I said, "No," but I took the girl to the movies and I fingered her. He said, "Now listen, I'm 13." He said, "Boy, if you get your fingers in that, you're supposed to." This is what he told me. Listen, I would never tell my son that. You see what I'm saying? So, listen, I'll tell you this. I don't think you could dispute this right here. Each individual is 100% responsible for the life they create. So the woman is 100% responsible for who she sleep with, and so is the man. They are responsible because if women said right now, I'm changing how I move, the problem in the community would cease. And if men said right now, I'm changing how I move, the problem in the community would cease, right? Before I pass it over to Neo, it was something I was going to say. Go ahead, Neo. What you got for me?
First, peace to the panel. Peace, Kevin. Kevin, I'm glad I finally get a chance to talk to you. I've been watching you for a while, and you kind of the reason why I shaped my channel the way it is. I do tell people you are my master teacher. So those who know me, but this is like the only subject I think that me and you don't really agree on, and it could be because I'm a woman and you're a man, and you know we have a different perspective. But to the guest, what is his name? Because I came in midway, so I didn't catch his name, but I remember him from his story going viral. Because I even talked about it on my show. I played his video on my show. What is the brother name?
House of Hypocrites.
That's what you want us to call you. So you don't want to give us a name? You don't want to... Okay, that's cool, brother. All right. So I just want to ask a question because I don't know you. Okay. So I'm just asking. So was your father in your life or not? Or were you raised in a single parent home?
I got both of my parents.
So you was raised by both parents.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And do your parents know like how you feel about this?
Yeah, they do.
They know. Mm-hmm. Did they know when it was happening? Because I know the story went viral that you said it was 7. You have 7 baby mamas, right? 7 different kids. Did they know when it was happening? Did they try to talk to you when you got around baby number 3 or?
Nah, I'm not telling my parents about some kids I don't want.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So my next question, because some of the women were asking you in the chat and you probably just ain't see it. Are you telling the women that before you lay down with them, before y'all be unresponsible, because I noticed you keep saying we were unresponsible. Are you telling them, hey, before we have sex, unprotected, if I get you pregnant, just know I don't want this kid and I'm not going to help you take care. Are you telling them that before or after y'all have sex?
I tell every woman that asks me that, because it's only women that ask me that. It don't matter. You better go.
Well, it should be only women ask you that. You only sleep with women, right?
No, I said only women been asking me that.
Oh, okay. No,
ask me this.
Oh, okay.
He's saying only women ask him. Do you tell these women up front that?
Oh, okay. All right.
Listen, what he's saying is, why should that's a question that assumes that he has a responsibility to do that when she's sleeping with him. So she should say, she shouldn't have to say, do you want this baby or not? She knows that she wants to have a baby or not. She knows that she wants to protect herself or not. So
no.
So you would have to know when the women are saying, I'm having a baby with you. We're having a baby right now. And he got to tell them, no, we're not. This is just
that's not the question. I'm saying, like, you know, when he putting the moves on the girl and he's, you know, wooing her and trying to get her in the draws, is he telling her, hey, by the way, before, you know, if we have sex, you're not making me put on protection or whatever, and I'm not gonna put on protection. Just let you know, if you get pregnant, I'm not gonna help you with this child, because like she might change her mind, not want to give him. No, because she knows that he's not gonna. You get what I'm saying? Like, are you being that honest with women, or are you just playing that card once you get them pregnant and you get in your feelings about it, and then you tell them, hey, if you don't abort the kid, I don't want the kid. Like, do they know you don't want children before you lay down with them? Because I really think less women will open their legs up to you. They might be just giving you the benefit of the doubt and saying, hey, we both know we being irresponsible. And I hope if I get pregnant, this man will step up to the plate. She's just probably giving you the benefit of doubt. But are you really going to be honest with us and tell us that you're telling these women before you lay down with them?
Nah, I don't think that mattered at all. And I'm gonna ask you, Have a man ever told you in your life that same question you asking me?
I wouldn't say that, but let me tell you what happened with my ex-husband. When me and my ex-husband was dating and we was having sex before we was married, I told him, like, look, I'm not going to if you get me pregnant before we're married, I'm not going to abort this child. He knew where I stood right away. So, and then later unfortunately, I didn't get pregnant before, whatever. But even after we got married, he knew where I stood. Yeah. So before he laid down with me, I was like, hey, I keep telling you to put on condoms. You keep taking them off. He's that type of man. He used to take them off. And I used to get on him about that. Like, hey, you taking it off. But if you get me pregnant, I'm not aborting this child. And I'm not going to raise a child by myself. So what are we doing here? So I was more responsible than he is. So I can be honest with that. But I'm just asking you because it seemed like you kind of being a little unfair because we don't know what you're saying to these women to get in their draws. You might be promising them the world and, oh, I'm going to take care of you. And then when the baby comes, you switch up. So we really don't know. I'm not trying to make excuses for women because I feel like I'm with you to a certain extent. Women should definitely have more say so. Like if a man not wearing a condom, tell him to put on the condom like I did. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I had sense enough to say that some women are not raised right in so many words. So, but I just kind of feel a little off about you because you was raised in a 2-parent home. And it would make sense to me if you had this like vendetta against fatherhood because you didn't have a father. So you abandon kids because you don't know how to love. Like a lover child or whatever, but then you caught me off guard when you said that you don't care nothing about the women you laying down with. But if you have a kid with a woman you love, you would take care of that child because that is a child you want.
Facts.
So I'm saying, like, just keep it real. Are you telling women before you lay down with them, hey, just in case, letting you know? Because I'm sure, are you asking them, do they have diseases and stuff? When the last time you got tested? Like, do you ask them? But you won't tell them like, hey, before we lay down, if I get you pregnant, I'm not taking care of this child.
Don't have to. She has to decide if she want to allow me to enter her, whatever way she want to enter. If I have to do what I do as a man, she gonna have to do what she do as a woman. In cases I'm gonna wear condoms, in cases I don't. I'm not about to sit there and tell you about the consequences of getting pregnant. I mean, having sex. We both know that. When people ask that question, it's trivial. It's a very trivial question. Is he telling us that? Is he no? You know how easy it is to get pussy when you meet that 666 standard? You know it's easy. I don't have to say much.
What educate me on the 666 standard? That's the first time I've heard that was on this show today.
6 feet, 6 figures, and 6 inches of penis.
Yeah.
Women have
Wait, say that again.
Yes, but when women talk about men and their standard for being with a man, they want them to be tall, so they want them to be 6 feet. They want them to be resourceful, so they want 6 figures, and they want his sex to feel what they call good, so they want him to have at least 6 inches. Okay, so these are their criteria when they're before being with a man.
And the criteria has been met, so it's easy.
And I was going to say this also. When you said you disagreed with my stance on this, I didn't know if you knew for sure what my stance was.
Oh, where I disagree when you said, I'm gonna tell you exactly where I disagree with you at. That when you said that men are like breeders, or like, they can't really control, like once all the blood rushes from their brain down to their penis. I kind of ain't like that too much because I feel like this issue that we have in today, even talking on this platform, is an American culture thing. Like we practice fornication here in this country, like sex before marriage. That's something that's in our culture. But before, when we were under more leadership for like religion and stuff, people got married before they had kids. So that's something I think we need to add into the equation because I think they already released the statistic that said 72% of children, African-American children, are born out of wedlock. I mean, so, and I was curious because like, even when you kept saying that 10% statistic, I was one of the ones in the chat kept saying, I want to see that 10% statistic because only person I know who repeats that statistic a lot is Tommy Sotomayor, that dude, but nobody would tell me where that statistic came from. And I don't challenge people on many platforms asking them if it's only 10% of men getting these women pregnant, but the other statistics say 72% of our children are born outside of people being married, then those numbers don't add up. Somebody's number is off.
So
You
look,
get what I'm
I can explain that. I can explain that.
Okay, go ahead.
It's really more like 19%. It's between like 12 and 19%. It does add up. It had
But
this.
where did you get that statistic from? That's the only thing. I'm like, I just want to go read that research for myself.
It's either census.gov, Statistica,
That's what it is.
or Black demographic. It's one of those. It's one of those three. That they might all three
That's
have.
it.
But
That's it. It's like 50%
about this.
of men are single and childless. About, like you said, about 12 to 19% have children or get access to the women.
I'm sorry, Kevin, you were breaking up. Where I can find that statistic at?
The Census Bureau or census.gov. Or you said one was called Black what?
Black demographics.gov,
So,
and then you got Statistica. So
I just want to double check. So the Census Bureau has a statistic that shows how many people have kids outside of marriage, like how many Black men have kids versus married men.
It's a census. Yeah. It's one of the top sources for data studies and everything. Yeah,
every year supposedly they do a census on that.
Yeah. I know what a census is, but I'm gonna go check that out because I hear men regurgitate that a lot, but I never knew where y'all got it from. I thought y'all got it from Tommy and the Fresh and Fit guys, and from what I heard, that statistic came from an OkCupid questionnaire.
I'm gonna say this though: if I'm one man with 7 kids, that statistic look like it's real, huh?
Not necessarily, because do the women have like other kids?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of women have multiple baby fathers, and a lot of
men, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said not really, because
think about this now. Because women are access to the womb, most women get sexual interest. No ifs, ands, or buts. It doesn't really matter what they look like. They'll have a slew of men in their inbox. Men often, because of those 3 criteria, they have to earn their way into sex. 6 feet, 6 inches, 6 figures, right? Because women don't just sleep with anybody. So because women don't just sleep with anybody, that leaves a selection of men who don't get access to women. The overweight ones, the short ones, the unemployed ones, the ones who still live at home with their mama. These men are not getting access to women, and over 50% of men are single and childless. Now, I said that I want to say this right here too. When I talk about men not performing the same whenever they are horny or turned on, this is absolutely true. I always try to encourage women that when you go on dates with a man, don't go showing all your cleavage and looking overly sexual, because you'll distract him. Even if he's vetting you for a wife, he'll become short-sighted and now just want to sleep with you, because men perform differently when they're horny. And I know this seems like it's an excuse for men's behavior. It's not. Men should have principles and not allow themselves to succumb. That's why we call it simping. The things men do just to access women. This is because they want something from you and will do anything to get it. We've been that way. Look at nature. Right. Animals present things to females before they access their womb. Some birds will build a whole house for you. We're no different than other animals. So men have something that drives them to procreate sexually. Women's sex drive is complex. Men is very primitive. So yeah, most men will sleep with a woman who's willing. It just doesn't matter. That's not an excuse. I would tell my son, vet her first, and based on her character, don't do it. Based on your plan, don't do it. But most men, let's be real, whenever women are sexually promiscuous, it breaks down communities because men simply don't know how to say no. I promise you.
Right. So I'm not necessarily disagreeing with that 100%, but what I'm trying to bring home to y'all, this is like a problem that we have in African American culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's 72%. That is a lot compared to other cultures here in this country. So that's what I'm saying. So is it that men are breedless, senseless breeders, or the culture, the mentality of the Black men, like the things that they deal with here, why they tend to be the ones that like okay with having children outside of marriage? Because I'm not, and this is not no shot. I don't want y'all to think I'm bashing Black men. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this is a problem in our community. This is not necessarily a problem in other.
On both sides, lack of culture produces people who are not aware. And so in ignorance, we are evil. Your ignorance is evil. So in our ignorance, us not being aware of what we're doing, we just want sex. Like he said, I just be thinking about a nut. The problem is it doesn't matter what's on your mind. That ritual, that sacred act creates a child. You don't have to think about it. It just does. So because we don't have culture, this is why we're destroying our communities. We're moving mindless. That's why I say we're towers of Babel.
But Kevin, that would make sense if that was the statistic of all cultures of men, different races of men.
I'm talking about individually. We don't have culture. I'm not talking about all people.
All right, so I agree with you on
people in America don't actually have culture. We have fashion. Like if some other person, foreign person, takes our hair and braids their hair or wears a dashiki, then they're culture vultures. But that's not culture. That's fashion. Culture is the steps that you have in order that you do ritualistically to make your community better. So culture would be creating like a rites of passage. You would tell men that the ability to create resources, to plant, to hunt, this is what makes you a man. Your ability to cultivate a long-term relationship is what makes you a man. You wouldn't teach them that as many women as you can sleep with makes you a man, because that's counterproductive to maintaining the marriage. He now becomes worse at maintaining long-term relationships because he doesn't maintain them long. That's not healthy. So it should be better to maintain longer relationships. That should be what's more important. But in our communities, what do? We shame each other for having longer term relationships, right? He caking. He don't know how to move on to the next one. So this is what creates negative culture. For women, they use their sex as transactional. They're not getting themselves married. They sleep around long as they can have a relationship or marriage.
Somebody mic is feedback. Turn off your YouTube. Somebody got YouTube playing in the background. Somebody mic is feedback.
I think I got it. I think it was Zamara. I think that was your mic or whatever. But yeah, we really don't have culture. We actually need culture. And that's the only way we're going to be able to fix our communities, because we're not aware enough to look 10, 15 years in the future and govern our own decisions today. It needs to be something that's taught since we're children on how to look at the world, on how to take care of ourselves. You remember the song that says, what would you do if your son is at home crying all alone on the bedroom floor because he's hungry? And the only way to feed him is to sleep with a man for a little bit of money. Come on now. That you can go to the church and ask for some money, right? You can just say, help me, and men will come running with money. You don't have to sleep with a man for money. And I don't know. A lot of women who do this, they've never even tried getting a job at Subways or Quiznos. And that's why I'd be like, they stuff look like roast beef before they even tried selling roast beef. They haven't tried. I'm telling you, a lot of women have used their bodies just to get a career, just to get a promotion, just to get a vacation. You're not going to get a husband like that. So yeah, on both sides, we lack culture. Men are willing to pay for it, and women willing to accept the money. We're not going to have a better culture if we move with principle, y'all. I'm going to let someone else ask House a question. He ain't got much time.
If we do lack,
can I say something?
Dr. Carter has to say.
Can I hear me? If we do lack culture, it's because we new niggas in a new nation. The United States is the youngest country. We ain't had time to build no type of culture. They ain't giving us one. They stripped us from culture. So at this point, we do have culture. It's just not the one we should have. Shit.
Right. We have hookup culture. We have sneaky link culture. Single mother culture.
That's right.
Another thing is our counterparts in these different races. They're not going to have children when they're not financially set to have children. We broke as fuck having children, and I was part of. Well, I ain't broke, but I was part of. You know what I'm saying?
You definitely broken, brother. You broken.
Nah, don't do that.
He's saying
a lot of us are broken. A lot of us are broken.
Nah, I ain't broken shit.
He reflects a lot of us, yo. He reflects a lot of our community. This is why I wanted to interview him. I want us to see ourselves and not judge, but change. Because if you see some of our actions in this, then we should all change, man. Like he said.
But according to you, he only represents 10% of the men.
No, he represents the culture. It looks this way because of the culture. Women may sleep with 10% of the men in this culture, but he represents the culture. And if we see this problem, women should say, okay, you know what? Let's make better decisions. Men should say the same.
Do y'all know the statistic between the ratio of men and women in this country? I actually tell women to go poly, and if you want a better example of it, go check out Kevin Wesley. He's a great example. Like, let's be honest, the pickings out here for women is not that good, Kevin. That's why some women gonna have to convert over to poly. Like you saying that he's saying he's not broken, but he just he went viral. This man he didn't go viral for being black excellence. He went viral for having 7 baby mamas.
Hold on.
He was saying
I mean, let's keep it real. He went viral for having 7 baby mamas. He's not representing black excellence. He's showing where we're broken as a people.
Hold on. I ain't broken. I'm not broken, not even a little bit.
You're definitely broken.
No. I don't like when bitches do this shit. You can easily look. You can easily talk to me, but don't try to diagnose me off some shit you believe. It's easy to talk to me. It's easy to get question out of it. Don't try to you broken. That shit gaslight. Don't do that. I don't like that.
Well, but you said it first though. Watch the playback. You said we broken, and then you changed your mind. Said, "Well, I'm not broken."
I didn't say broken.
What did you say?
I said I ain't broke. Meaning I got some money. I don't know what you hearing.
Hey, so wait, hold on. So you didn't say well, when Kevin was giving his points, and you were saying us people, he was talking about the culture and our mentality, the things we deal with. You didn't say
we ain't got no money. We broke. What are you
he said broke.
He said broke or broken.
That's what I was trying to tell you. He was meaning
like,
financially,
no money.
not broken. Now here's the kicker. Even if you
so when you was talking about the mentality of people, he said we were broke.
Hang on, Neo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother.
Yeah, he was saying broke financially. So what I was saying is, even if you thought he was broken in his philosophy, or mentally broken, or emotionally broken, the end result is the consequences. So we all agree that I think we all agree, or at least a lot of us agree. I think that he should take care of his children. I think that's a problem for the community if he doesn't. I think it's a problem that will only recreate generational curses if he doesn't. I feel he has a wonderful opportunity to teach life and guide his children, and what years will look like for those children and his legacy going forward. He has a beautiful opportunity here. Many men don't get an opportunity to have
all due respect, Kevin. They don't need him. No, he don't need to raise no children. Look at this mentality.
No, he needs to make.
I think the children are better off without him. Like trying to keep it real.
I hear you, Neo. But what you got to understand is, we in life, we all make mistakes, and no child would say that. That child would say, "I want my daddy. I want my daddy to change." So we gotta speak for the child. Ain't no child.
Okay, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna pass the mic because I don't want to hold up the show. I'm gonna say this: every child deserves a parent. Every child deserves a parent, but not every parent deserves a child. And this man's mentality, how immature he is, to the point that he called me a bitch because I misheard him. Thought he said broken, but he said broke. But being that he even got that kind of emotional trigger by a person he don't even know on the net, he called me a bitch. He don't really need to be raising no kids. Like, I get what you're saying. It would have been in a perfect world. I would love to see a black man raising their kids, a black man being in their child's life, because there's a stereotype out there. Well, with the Europeans, they make fun of us for not having fathers. You get what I'm saying? That's like, I was like, this brother is not going viral for black excellence. He went viral for 7. Oh, wow, brother.
You can't control how you disrespect. You can't control somebody if they disrespect you. When I'm telling you, I'm not a certain thing.
I called you broken, and you called me a bitch.
Same shit. You can't judge what I take as disrespect. I'm telling you, I'm not this, and you trying to tell me I'm something. Yeah, bro.
I mean, it's my opinion. I mean, if I say Michael Jordan is a better player than Kobe Bryant,
correct you. You kept saying it. So what else do you want me to do?
Let me ask a question real quick.
Kobe better.
At the end of the day, those kids are better off without you. You can take that how you want it.
Let's not get lost. Let me ask you a question real quick.
I got a question. I got a quick question.
Hang on, real quick, brother Clarence. Before you go, Neo, let me ask you this question. Would you say that women who have eliminated their children multiple times over, would you say they have a right to a child? Would you say they don't need to have children either?
I can't hear you because the he said.
What about the women who's had multiple eliminations of their child? Okay, they had multiple abortions. Would you have the same opinion for them, that they don't deserve children and they should just stop?
Yeah,
and don't have children?
I probably would, because like I said, every child deserves a parent, and there's plenty of people out who having kids who are the worst parents. They're neglecting, they're abandoning them. I'm not one of those people who feel like, if it's the person's child, if you have the child, you should automatically take care of. I'm a big advocate to say, hey, the government should step in and remove children out of harmful homes, right? So I would have that same mentality with a woman who constantly keep aborting kids, instead of her doing the proper steps, like, maybe getting on some birth control, maybe, using condoms, maybe abstaining from sex, because that's the best way to keep from getting pregnant. If you're not ready for kids, just abstain. But, people don't have control of their bodies no more. So, of course, Kevin, I would have the same energy. So okay, I'm not biased.
I appreciate that. That's one to know.
So I'm not biased. But I'm just saying, I'm not trying to, like be rude to the brother if he want to take it that way, but I'm just letting him know that he's not famous for black excellence. You famous by giving right into the stereotype that the white men say about black men, that they like breedless, senseless animals that go around impregnating their women and abandon them. Like that's why he's viral. Like, let's keep it real. It ain't nothing you can say, Kevin. It ain't nothing you can say in this viral that's gonna get through to that man. Flip him over. He's done.
Who said
Like,
who said my baby mamas was black?
I mean, it doesn't matter. It really don't matter what color they are. You still are a black man abandoned. You're still a black man who abandoned your kids. So it don't matter what color they are.
Right. Well, I'll say this: we all people, and all of your children house will be black because they come from you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's another thing that me and Kevin gonna disagree with, but I'm gonna move on. We're gonna move on.
If you have an interracial baby, that baby mixed.
I agree with you, Neo.
That's mixed.
All right, can I ask you a question, Brother House, real
But
quick?
Kevin, I'm gonna hang around. I'm not gonna ask how. I'm just gonna mute so other people can talk.
Okay,
I
cool.
don't want to take up the time on the panel, but I just wanted to ask you a quick question because I know you got to go, brother. Would you suggest?
We can hold off. We can hold off another 30 minutes.
Okay. Would you suggest some of the stuff you said that you were doing in the past? Because I recognize you said that was your past life, and you're not doing it at this point. Would you suggest that that lifestyle to these young men that's out here now?
Absolutely.
And would you suggest that if a woman makes them upset, they should just call out of her name just right away?
No, absolutely not. I gave her a chance to be. I tried to correct her, and that goes for any one of y'all. Y'all would have got the same response. I'm trying to correct you. And
you don't come off as a man who will call another man a bitch.
I hate when bitches do that shit. And I'm gonna say that shit again. A bitch can be a nigga. Hold on, a bitch can be a woman. A bitch can be a man. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Wait. Let me say one thing to you, young man. I hear you. I hear you, brother. I hear you. But what I'm gonna say to you is this, brother. If all these other people look around and they watch us kicking our women and disrespecting our women and girls, and what are they gonna think about us, brother? That's why they have the vision of us that the way they do, and then we wonder why they think about us the way they do. It's because they watch us interact with ourselves. They watch us interact with our women, and we treat them like trash. And so I'm just suggesting, brother, we got to have a little more humility. And part of being a man is having the humility to say, fam, I stepped over the line here, fam. I stepped over that line. You know what? Forgive me for that. But see, sometimes we're a little too vain, and our vanity keeps us from stepping across that line, and us coming back to and uniting with each other. And it's just a suggestion, man. You a smart dude. I just hate to see a smart dude like you making some of these silly mistakes. That's all, brother.
Remember
Hey, can I say something, Kel?
Can I?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Before you do,
ladies first.
Brother Clarence, what you had to say was right on point. I 100% do not agree with calling anybody out of their names. I think that men should have respect when they speak with women, but I think women should have respect when they speak with men as well. I did not speak to that point yet. I was going to, so you took every word from my mouth. I appreciate that. Now, what was you going to say, Vibes?
Oh, hey, peace to y'all, man. Peace to everybody. What's up with you, bro? I can't see your name and your hashtag. I don't really be on Facebook or any kind of social media like that, so I don't know about the viral video, but I heard you say earlier that you do plan on having future kids, right? And with a wife?
Yep.
So so if you have future kids, right? And you got kids already, what if one of your kids sleep with your kid?
That ain't my issue.
Now, come on, you can't keep saying that, ain't you?
What are they getting pregnant though?
Hold on. I can't control.
What would you do? Like, actually, like, look at the scenario and say, what would you do if that was to happen? Like, how would that, the kids that you actually are caring for, if you were to discover that
right, your daughter, bro, your daughter you love so much.
Not say it ain't your concern. Just what would you actually do?
It ain't nothing I can do at that point. Once it happened.
Well, you can avoid it, bro.
I'm just
You
saying,
can avoid by being in your kid's life.
Damn, like if I had only.
I'm good.
Well, let me ask you this right here. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry.
What you say?
Can you hear me, House?
Yeah.
So let's say you finally meet your wife one day, right? I'm sure you're gonna be. Hang on, me put yourself real quick, vibes. So let's say you finally meet your wife one day, and I'm sure you're looking for a woman who's not a jump off, right? You're looking for a woman who's not just gonna give it to you easily, right? I'm sure you're looking for a woman with standard and class, right?
Yeah.
Would you imagine that same woman being okay with a man that got 7 children that he don't take care of? So I be trying to say like yin and yang, right? You all who you vibrate through. So let's just say you saying, okay, I'm telling men now that my decisions were wrong. And I would never tell a man to do that today. However, in accountability to that means that you're still not going to take care of the mistakes that you made, the children, right? So this means that you will say, I would never tell you not to do this again, but actually you're not correcting the things that you've done. So in reality, the wife that you get will be getting a man who has neglected 7 children. Do you think that that's nature? Do you think that's the universe, that she deserves that for being a good woman, for keeping herself, for having principles? What she get after all of that is a man who neglects 7 kids now. I
won't neglect the kids I have with her.
Yeah, but dude, think about this.
But your kid to have a child by your other child.
Watch this. You manage to become the man that's self-sufficient and the man that has the skills and the principles to raise and lead a family. Do you think you deserve someone who is giving their body to every Tom, Dick, and Harry, who's aborted so many children she could have started a school with? Because you're not responsible for those children, and it was in her past. Are you saying, okay, cool, bygones is bygones? Like, come on aboard.
I'm not gonna fuck with her.
So that's what I'm saying. Because of who you are. Don't you think the universe would give you exactly that? Because you know you wouldn't deal with somebody below your standard. You won't get that. You won't get with somebody above yours. So unless you change your standard, that's the only way you're going to get who you are. You'll always get who you are. So that's what I'm saying. Your life will look like shit if you don't correct this issue. I don't know if you believe in the universe and that it works that way, but I don't see how you have a...
I don't see. We have taken I guess a position on what we think this spiritual shit is, the spiritual journey in with like the flesh and the world of this shit. Yeah, our seeds is something that we should water and grow. I believe that. You know what I'm saying? But just because I don't mean in my future I'm gonna suffer from that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if I had some type of regrets, maybe if I had some type of guilt, if I felt that, if I truly felt guilt, regret, remorse, that would affect me in the future. I don't feel none of that. I just don't feel it. So me getting with a woman, I'm gonna be honest. I'm an honest person. So I'm gonna tell her, hey, this is what it is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yada yada. If she chooses to be with me or not, that's on her. Now, if she wants me to try to right that wrong, which most women will try to do, you feel me? It's still gonna be up to me to try to right that wrong. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't talk to a woman that aborted 1 child. I'm a hypocrite. But I wanted them children that I didn't want with them women to be aborted.
The reason I said that, brother, because I met my brother when he was 28. That's my brother. I'm a heterosexual man, right? So what if my brother, now we stay like 30 miles away from each other. What if my brother was a female outside at the club one night? You know what I'm saying? And got pregnant, bro. Where does your daughter, the one you love from your new wife, get pregnant by one of your no good sons? Like, think about that. Because he didn't have a father to raise him up to treat his, to treat a woman right. Like, that can happen. That ain't no, they ain't got to do with karma. That's just facts.
That can happen.
Like, that can literally happen.
You can win the lottery too.
What they got to do with anything? Money ain't got nothing to do with retarded children.
What I'm saying is that's an anomaly, bro.
Come on, man.
It can happen. I don't. We arguing about possibilities at this point.
Nah, bro. We ain't arguing, bro. I'm just saying that can. No. What I'm saying, bro. That's bro. Hitting the lottery and your children getting pregnant by another one of your children, bro. That's a nightmare. That's not. You can't compare that to the lottery.
And Kevin, you think this man should raise kids? Not,
Highlight
not trying to be funny, but you with that mentality. Not, and I don't know him. I don't want to attack him. I'm really attacking
Nah,
the
we ain't gonna attack
mentality.
him, brother. Hell no, don't do that.
I ain't attacking
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
I'm
I
attacking
mean,
the
yeah,
mentality
yeah,
of
I
his.
think, yeah, I
That
think
type
he
of
should
man
raise
you
his
think
kids.
needs to be raising kids, bro.
I think he should raise his
What's
kids
wrong
that
with
he
it though?
created. Absolutely,
Because what I'm saying is, I don't want
absolutely.
kids. I don't want to raise kids I don't want. What's wrong with that?
Well, you know what to do not to raise kids. You know what to do, but you did it 7 times.
But you gotta think about this. I probably smashed over 200 women. Only 7 got pregnant.
That's not what you said in your viral video.
I got I can't put everything in 3 minutes. That's why I'm
But that's
writing
not,
the book.
but brother, that's not what you said. You said some women did.
I can't.
Let's just hear the brother. Let's not tell him what he said before, because I want to
Yeah.
really deal with what he's saying
Yeah,
now. You know
I'm
what
trying
I
to
mean?
hear what he's saying.
It's
Yeah,
hard to put 6 years in 3 minutes. Some
Now,
did
this is
get
what
it.
this is what I say.
yeah.
I see something. I see like okay, you saying about, you know, like the spiritual things and hitting the lottery, things happening or whatever. I believe a man and a woman should make decisions based on the world they live in and based on the consequences they know they can face. You're absolutely right. You abandoning 7 children does not mean negative consequences will come for you. I mean, babies die of cancer. So slave masters died rich. You won't always get back what you put out. Let's just be real. But what I'm saying is, we also live in a world that we know consequences exist, right? So you asked this question earlier. You said, me not wanting these children, what's wrong with that? Now, you're very intelligent. I want you to answer your own question. Like, really tell me, what's wrong with that? You have 7 children that you don't want, but you had sex to get those children. What is wrong with that? Like, if you was gonna tell a young man, because you said you wouldn't tell men going forward to do the things that you've done.
Not at all.
So you gotta know something's wrong with that.
The only issue is you can be put on child support. If it ain't had no child support, it'd be more men having more kids with women that they don't fuck with, and they'll be liable. Men are liable because the child support system exists. If it didn't exist, it'll be every race would have women with fatherless children. I see.
I don't know.
I wouldn't disagree. That's why I say we need social systems that force us to do what we're supposed to do, because he's probably right. If when we gave women a right to abort their children, they did it. When you gave them a right to give them up for adoption, they did it. So if you give men a right to walk away from their children with no consequences, man, why would you say they wouldn't? Like, of course, they probably would. I wouldn't disagree with it. It's likely true that they would be worse as parents if you don't make them. It's sad. We should have principles. We should know what type of family we want and set out to create that family. It's truly sad that we don't have any type of discipline on our own without somebody forcing it upon us. It's truly sad, but it's a fact. We don't. Let's be real.
And I was saying,
he can disagree with what the man is saying in that regard.
Yeah.
That's why I agree. He's intelligent, but where we're ending up is different because of philosophy. I don't believe children should go without parents. Apparently, he doesn't believe that. That's where we ended up wrong. So I'm saying everything.
I'm not saying children should go without parents. I'm just saying personally, I'm not taking care of kids I don't want. I believe kids should have parents in their life, but in the same sense, don't mean it's gonna be me.
Well, you believe kids should have parents if
Both
the parents wanted kids.
Yeah, both.
You believe the children should have parents if the parents wanted children.
Yeah,
I believe
not how it works,
have
though.
Parents because the parents was fucking. I think
that's not how it works.
Should have parents because they made them. Like, that's why I think that. I just think that if y'all doing it, you are creating life, whether you want to or not, whether you said it or not. Being responsible to your actions is about being accountable to them.
Kevin,
that's just how I see it.
I believe that.
Who had a question?
I have a question.
I'm right here. I do.
Okay,
real quick.
Rodney, and then I'm going to Dr. Carter.
I see it sounds like it's a lack of different realms of how we dealing on this. It's a great discussion or whatever, but if you are operating in the lower realm, I'm talking about the appetite.
Hey, Vibes, can you mute your mic? We can't hear it. It's clicking.
Me?
No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead. Speak up.
Okay. No, I was just saying that we have to get to a understanding and know that Sexual intercourse is not what's the real purpose of it. See, if we don't respect the purpose, then nothing else matters. We're going to abuse it in every way. And the real purpose is procreation. That's the number one thing. It is designed to give pleasure. You said, brother, Brother House, and I'm not judging because I did it. I got 4 women. So I understand. But I'm saying procreation, the act of giving life. That's what it's designed for. But we use it recreationally, which is not designed for. And when you do that, you bring a fiery spirit into your bosom. That's why you're going through what you're going through, and then that's why you have to be on these lives saying your perspective. So once we understand those things, and we can grow past it. I had to too. You know what I'm saying? So everybody, it's not we just want to raise consciousness. That's all I want to say, man. Because sex is a beautiful thing, but maybe we make it nasty though.
I'm gonna tell you.
Peace.
I'm gonna tell you this. I think it's recreational. It's a recreational purpose, and it's for procreation. You feel me? And I'll be on these lives because this is the age of content. You know what I'm saying? If anybody gonna make money off the story, it's gonna be me.
Yes, sir. I understand. Right, I get it. Yes, sir.
Dr. Carter, you had a question for House?
Yes, hi. I'm from the Caribbean. So I live in the US, but I'm from the Caribbean. So we have a totally different culture at home. One of the first things that made me come on here is to ask you, I heard you referring to a lot of women as bitches. If someone refers to your mom as a bitch, does that upset you?
They won't do that shit in my face.
So if you wouldn't want it for your mom.
Look, you got hoes, you got sluts, you got bitches, and you got women. You got hoes, sluts, bitches, and women.
Which one are you? Which one are you?
However you act with me, you might get that response. Like
which one are you out of that list? Which one are you?
If I'm talking with somebody,
it's the feminine age.
Hold on. If I'm talking with somebody and I'm telling them, hey, I'm trying to give them an explanation about myself. Hey, don't label me as that. I'm telling you, that's not me. I'm not that. Just talk with me. But you persist to do that, you a bitch.
Okay, but let me say something. Before that, you were talking about you and the guys and trying to figure out how many bitches you guys can sleep with. You remember saying that earlier?
I remember.
So you were referring to women as bitches, and I take offense to that because I think you don't want to call your mother a bitch.
Dr. Carter, ain't no real woman should take offense of hearing a man say bitches unless you gonna categorize yourself within that. I didn't say all women are bitches. I never said that.
You should not characterize a woman as a bitch because I'm saying if you don't, this is my opinion. If you don't want it for your mom, you don't want it for your daughter, for your wife that you love, then you shouldn't do it. The second thing is these women that you slept with, were they all like one night stands or these women that you had like a short-term relationship with?
Most of them I fucked the same day.
And then you never had any dealings with them after that?
Nope, unless that shit was good.
Okay, and so I'm a cancer specialist. If you had kidney disease, let's say, and you needed to have a kidney transplant, and
I'm gonna track down them kids.
Wait a minute.
I'm gonna track down the kids.
One of those 7 kids, or all of those 7 kids were a perfect match for you. What would you do?
You gotta think about what
it's not in the lottery, bro.
I just made a joke. I made a joke about who you gonna go down.
It's in the lottery now.
House, you gotta think about what you just said. Yeah. You saying that you won't be able to provide any guidance or resources, but if you need them for longer life, you attract them down. That's fucked up, bro.
That's fucked up. But look, that was a joke, though. That was a joke. That's fucked up.
You're on a panel being judged right now, man. So what if you need a kidney then?
Let's check it out. I don't care about being judged. Ain't nobody on this bitch gonna pay my bills. Nothing.
I'm saying, but give us the right thing to see you accurately by. I wouldn't play. You know what I'm saying? So what would you really do if you need a kidney? Are you just gonna say, you know what, it's on me? Because you saying right now, I'm not taking care of these kids. I don't want them. So are you gonna act like you don't have kids if you need a kidney transplant? Honest question.
This is what I'm saying. I don't worry about the future. What ifs and possibilities?
Oh man,
I got a homeboy that talks just like you, bro.
I don't.
He ain't responsible with nothing.
I can't control none of that.
You don't
Would you
take
just
no
go out?
responsibility.
Would you
Can't do
just go
nothing.
out? Would you just go out though? That's all I'm asking. Would you just
can't
be
do
like, hey,
nothing.
look, it is what it is?
I can't do
Because
nothing.
imagine yourself saying, hey, I know I wasn't there for you, but can I get a kidney? I mean, come on, bro. That sounds
That's
crazy.
fucked up. That's fucked
That
up.
sounds like
That's
something that a
fucked
broken person
up.
would say. That's what it sounds like, something that a broken man would say.
And you still didn't answer the question, because I really want to
Neo,
know,
stop,
would you
Neo.
say, well, you know what, I'm just going to die? Or would you, and you're married to this dream woman that you have, with these dream kids that you have that are young, that need you, right?
I'm gonna get
And
one
you
off the
need
black
this
market.
kidney. What are you going to do? Are you
I'm
going to...
gonna get one off the black market. They selling kidneys for like 45, 50,000.
They send up this. Oh, really?
That's a better
Do you
answer,
get a
bro.
match?
That's a better answer.
Yeah.
Do you get a match?
No, it's not, because we know they kill those people. So he willing to take a kidney.
Yeah.
But look, hold
I
on
don't care.
though.
I don't care how they got the kidney. I need that
See,
motherfucker.
hey,
I don't
this
care how
man,
they got
and
the kidney. I need it.
look, brother, I'm really trying hard.
Y'all want to give me hypothetical questions? I'm gonna give you a hypothetical answer.
Okay. Look, this what I'll say right here, bro. If you go all the way back, okay, you take away the matrix. Those 7 children with you are hunters, planters, home builders. They would have helped you cultivate your land. That would have been your tribe. And so you would have been forsaken your birthright. The fact that those women gave you access to their womb, they enlarged your territory. So in today's day, in the matrix, you got to pay to take care of them. Back in the day, they were a blessing because they were going to help you hunt, plant, everything. What you're doing is counterproductive to God or blasphemous to nature, because they're your additions, man. They're your ascendants, and you abandon them for whatever reason.
They got
justifiable reason.
For money.
Check this out. They got welfare, Section 8, WIC, daycare. They got, see, this is modern day. Back then, I might feel different. This is modern. So I'm gonna take advantage of technology and the modern things that modern life offer.
Then that's exactly, then what you're saying is the matrix stole my birthright. Then they can have it. If the government comes up with all these different things that can aid my children, then they did enough for the father of the home to say, you know how they say they did enough for the women to kick the father of the home out? They gave them help, and so the women thought they didn't need a man. Imagine men saying they're not needed. Imagine men coming to the conclusion that, hey, we're not needed because the government take care of our kids. Yo, you don't see how that's if you're saying going forward, I'm not going to do these things, please know that the philosophy you still have is going to go with you forward. Think about what you're saying. That ain't wise for future movement.
I'm gonna say this. When you was 27, you thought a certain way, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then that changed until today. I still got a whole lot of life in me. If I got a whole lot of life in me.
Ain't you 40?
Who, me? I'm 40. He's 27. He's a young.
I'm sorry, I didn't. How old do you say he is?
House?
27. House is 27.
But brother House, I got a question. See, me, Kevin, Rodney, we got all these bumps on our head already, brother. Why you need to go get them same bumps? That's what I'm saying. I'm tell you, man.
I feel that.
I wish somebody could have spoke to me.
So you had your first child, he was 20?
What you did, man, is you did something that's crazy. It's a lot of people are pissed, but you put your philosophy out loud. And so you now all these men are coming to you saying, bro, listen, just take a look. We can't tell you what to do, but we're trying to speak to you through your children. If I'm your child, I'm telling you, man, I need you. I know you don't think you're good enough for me, but man, I need you. And I know you got logic or whatever, for whatever reason. I know you got your reasons, but none of that changed the fact that I need you as a father, need you there. So we're telling you, okay, yeah, I made mistakes when I was 27, but I behaved based on the knowledge I had. I ain't have the whole world pouring into me. Man, you got the whole world pouring into you with right knowledge right now. You ain't got no excuses.
I'm 49.
But listen to what he's saying, though.
We're giving you shit, but we're really giving you love. This is what love look like.
Yeah.
We care enough to speak into you. This is how we got to start treating this in our community. When we see somebody like that, that's not living up to vibration, living up to code, we need to speak life into them and tell them, man, you got it in you, bro. Trust me.
And get them yes men from around you, bro. Get them yes men from around you.
You only seeing yourself in this small state. You got to understand there's more to you than that. So,
and I'm happy to hear you say that you're open to growing as you get older, because that tells me that you're not
but y'all don't
close off.
But y'all don't see a problem with that. Y'all don't see if he can hold on. Let's back it up just a little bit. If he can recognize now that the mentality that he had, just like when the older brother was giving him some game, and he said, "Well, when y'all young, then y'all think like this." He got sense to recognize that now. Like if he didn't think he was doing anything wrong, it wouldn't be no, "Oh, well, brother, you know how it is. We do dumb things. We young, dumb, and full of cum." He won't even be able to comprehend that. Being that he's able to know that his mentality is fucked up, and when he get older, it's potential that he can change. It's showing y'all that this man knows exactly what he's doing. I don't know if he did this to get clout. I don't know if he did this to get famous. But like I said, like I would respect him, and like I said, I'm not trying to start nothing with you. But I swear I would respect you more if you said you had 7 kids, you ain't want them kids, you just don't want the kids because you feel like I wouldn't make a good father, I'm irresponsible, my mentality's fucked up, or I'm just ain't shit. Like I would respect you more if you would have put it on you, like saying I wouldn't be a good quality father figure for these children. I would respect you more than you just saying I just didn't want them. That's their fault. The government says, hold on, because let me hold on. I'm gonna let you rock. I promise you. Let me just land my plane. The government says that the women have the choice, but one thing you gotta recognize this: you probably don't respect women. I wish your dad would have taught you how to respect women because he was there for you. But for some reason, he dropped the ball on teaching you how to interact with women. When women choose to have children, you got to remember she's close to death. Every time she has a child, she puts her life on the line. So while y'all sitting up here judging women when they choose or choose not to have kids, you need to remember what she put her body through. Every time she has a child, she risks dying. Men, what y'all have to do? Lay down. 6 minutes later, the birthing process is over with you guys. So let's just respect women a little bit more. The one who choose to have kids, let's just respect them a little bit more instead of shaming them for choosing to bring in a life when they know the man ain't shit. Like we need to change that mentality first off. But I swear I will respect you more, but you know exactly what you're doing. They probably can't see it, but I see you for what you're doing, bro. You want that clout. Because I don't think you got as much money as you say you do. Because bro, rich men don't care about rich men make children. Look at Nick Cannon. They brag about all the fucking kids they got. Broke niggas complain about taking care of kids. Facts. So I don't even think you have all this money that you claim. I think you on some clout shit.
How much money you think I got?
I bet you ain't got it the way you were putting off. Because I'm telling men with money don't complain about children, bro.
What I'm putting off?
They do.
No, Nick Cannon, all these damn kids.
I'm gonna tell you. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you.
I don't know. All the men I know got money don't care about no damn kids.
How many kids they got?
Rich women abort babies. Poor women abort babies. Rich men abandon children. Poor men abandon children. They do.
Like, come on. That's too though.
Nah, bro. Nah, I ain't buying it.
What I would say is, Neo, I don't care if you respect me. Your opinion does not move my life, not one bit. But it's cool to come in and converse with people and exchange our opinions. It's not gonna move me. And another thing is, I'm a man. I don't have to bear a child. I don't care what your body go through. Be better in selecting dudes before he puts some dick in you. Be better at that, because I don't have to deal with it. You said it. The woman has to go through that, right? She has to go through that. I can be irresponsible. I can be careless. I can put.
Do you hate women?
Your mom went through the birth process though for you.
I don't think you do.
I love women. I love women, but you're not gonna convince me to take care of a baby from a hoe that I didn't got pregnant. You feel me?
House, your mom. Like when you say you don't care what we go through for the birthing process, your mom went through that same process.
That's my mama though. None of you women are my mama or my sisters. None of you women are my mama or my sisters.
But we look like your mama and your sister.
No. You can.
Your mother and your sister. Is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry. No, I said none of you women is my mother, my auntie, my grand. Y'all, we people. We not the same kind. We the same people. We're not the same kind. You understand?
So
I care about my family.
Your family? Huh? So you do respect the women in your family, right?
Oh, of course.
But outside of that, do you respect any women at all?
I do. If I'm not disrespected.
Hey, Dr. Carter, I wanted to say this real quick. You remember when he called me a bitch?
Yeah.
Like, let me tell you, this is the honest truth. Ain't no man ever disrespect me or call me out my name when they seen my father, because I'm sure my dad is a big guy, and he's probably bigger than dude right here. There ain't no man ever disrespect me. When they see a woman is protected by other men, they don't do that. So that's why when he said, you seen, I told him, like, bro, you got emotional because I misheard you and thought you said broken, and you said broke, but you called.
I tried to correct you.
Okay, but but what does that got to do with you referring to women as bitches? Like, before I even did that, you said bitches.
That's some bitch ass shit to do. When I'm
I think you a bitch for not taking care of your kids and being a hypocrite. That's why I asked you when you named all those different forms of women. I asked you which one were you. You didn't answer.
I ain't no fucking woman. Get your bitch ass.
Well, you're a bitch. You might not be a woman, but you're a bitch. You damn sure a bitch. Because if my dad or my brother was standing next to me, I bet you I wouldn't be a bitch.
Ain't the average nigga can't whoop
but
me.
If a man was standing,
the average nigga can't whoop me. Fuck is you talking about?
Man, nigga, I can see right through your ass.
Neo, listen, chill.
Like a fucking transgender. Fuck out my face.
Now I'm a transgender because you was a deadbeat nigga. Now I'm transgender.
See, a deadbeat, that's true. The other shit ain't true. I can accept the truth.
I listen. I moved Neo for a moment so she could get herself together real quick. Okay, I don't want to do that. I want to stick to the point, to the actual points. Okay, so I don't want to get into the insulting thing or trying to insinuate or straw man you. It's not about how much money you have, none of that type of stuff. I really wanted to get to the heart of the conversation. All right, so
I told you, I'll be respectful. I'll be respectful or disrespectful. But when I'm trying to correct you, I'm saying, bro, I'm trying to tell you that's not me. You can call me a deadbeat. I accept that. I accept anything true about me. But when I'm trying to correct you, don't get mad how I respond to the disrespect. You could be a better man. I could have said something different. And the thing about it, I was going to apologize, but she kept doing the shit. So I'm like,
the thing is, I thought we had actually moved past it when brother Clarence.
In my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna apologize. I'm gonna apologize before I get off this hoe at 7:30. But she picked it back up.
I appreciate that, House. Can I ask you another question? Sorry, if your dream woman has kids, are you okay with looking after those kids?
I'm not getting with a woman that got kids.
Okay.
I mean, can I say something? I feel like that there's a group of people who ask the questions because they want to understand him, and then there's a group of people that just come on here to ask questions just because you either want to see if you can catch him in something or you want to see if you can change his mind. And I feel like, Clarence is asking questions. I definitely feel it when Wesley asks questions, and I think most importantly, Hypocrite can feel it, man. I think he can feel it when you're genuinely asking questions.
Yeah.
Or when you just trying to bag because you just want to try to change the way he thinks. I come on here because I really just want to understand.
Yeah, I want to know.
Some people come from different lives, man. I've got a buddy that's just like that, and he just now starting to learn. Like, man, I can't keep rolling through there.
But the reason I asked, bro, like I told you, I met my brother at 28. He could have been a girl. That's the reason I said what I said. As far as like that can easily happen. We stayed 20 miles away. I wasn't raised by my mother or my dad. They both abandoned me. You feel what I'm saying? I could have easily slept with my damn. I'm like him. I used to sleep with a lot of damn women. One night stands, it didn't damn matter. So I could have easily slept with my own sibling, man. That's why we should. When you got kids, you gotta let your kids know each other. That's all I was saying. I wasn't trying to trick them and then like that. But I'm just saying you gotta let your kids know each other, because you don't. That can easily happen. Right? It don't take one night for two of your children to have babies together. That's kind of weird.
I understand, bro. Look, I'm an open person, but I'm actually a respectful person. There's a few things that she said that was trying to get a reaction out of me and got one. You feel me? So what I'm saying is, if you come with some sense with me, I'm gonna come with some sense with you. I don't just disrespect people just to disrespect people. I'm not a disrespectful person, but I like to be disrespectful if I can. If you open up that door for me to be disrespectful to you, I will. Cause guess what? I box. I'm confrontational, but I'm not gonna do that. I can be confrontational and verbally box with women, not physically. You feel me? That if I choose to do that. But I gave you a chance. If I come up here and call people grapists, you know what I'm saying? Broken from what? I've been trying to answer Mr. Clarence. I've been trying to answer Kevin. You know what I'm saying, in a respectful and knowledgeable manner, so y'all can understand people. But when you come on here and try to antagonize somebody, and then you start poking the motherfucking bear, and the bear start growling, like, bro, come on. This is the internet. This is for content.
I'm the same way. I grew up the same way. I'm from the streets. I grew up boxing, all the same. So I understand exactly how you think. So I've been around men. Now, I'm not the type of man to call women bees. Never have in my life. And like literally, I haven't in my whole life. But I know when men say that, they're not actually being derogatory. You see what I'm saying? Necessarily. But I know women do receive it in that way as well. So when you say it on this platform, I know kind of what you're saying because I know where you're from. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know.
I didn't say you a bitch. I said bitches.
Right. And I know
it's two different. It's two different connotations on it. So I understand what you're saying. Because if I would say women don't respond in those type of ways, Miss Dr. Carter has been responding as a woman would.
Yeah, that's because that other girl knew what you were trying. She knew that you weren't referring to.
Yeah.
But even what I'm saying was for Dr. Carter, because I could tell she equally was offended at that word. So I can understand that, it hits a tough place. But I'm saying when they say it colloquially, bees in that moment just means women. I promise you. I know it sounds crazy, but it's just like when women say men ain't shit or niggas. A lot of times they're not actually thinking like I'm about to say something mean about it. You know what I mean? So it's not literally how they're thinking. When a man call a woman a bee, meaning to her directly, he's saying she's being disrespectful. Like that's how a man call a woman an asshole. So if he said, "Don't call me broken," and she continued to call me broken, he now feels like he can call her how he sees her. Now, do I say it's right? No, I don't think we should do that. That's why I said I believe we should be respectable of our own selves first. So if I were him, I wouldn't have done that. But I'm not going to upset the whole show and then go in on him for what he just said. You understand? And also for her, I wanted her to chill because I didn't want her to say anything to embarrass her own self, right? Or put her own self out there in the light that she knows she's not like. He going to be able to say whatever he wants to her. It ain't going to bother him. So if she's on here and she lets him bring that out of her, she'll likely regret the things that she says. And she's emotional. She wants these children to have a parent. So she's caught up in that. So that's why I got her off, because I didn't want to see her say more things that she would regret later. She's caught up in. That's why she's going at it like that with him, tit for tat. We're getting off the point. She made some great points, but again, she was getting off the point a bit. So one of the points that she made was that women, their bodies, they get near death when they bring forth life, and we need to give more respect to what she has to go through, that process of bringing forth life. My thing is that's the actual plan. When the man says, "I'll give you my life going forward, I'll protect you and the child going forward," he is doing that. He's honoring the fact that she put her life at risk for 9 months. He's going to do that for the next 18 or longer years. He'll die for that child. So she does get it back. You understand? So it's not that we're disrespecting her while she's carrying this child. He's simply saying that, yo, in a world that we live in, that woman will end that same baby's life, that if she don't want it, that she'll hound you about taking care of it if she does. But if you want the child, she'll still use her right, execute her right to eliminate that child. Do we think that's right, family? Before we just judge this man with all of our projections, do we think that's fair that women will do that? We don't think what he's doing is right either. I don't think what he's doing is right, but he's responding to something else that's wrong. Do you think that's right, ladies? If a man says he wants the child that's in your belly, do you feel like you should give it to him? Or do you feel like you have a right to end that child's life, to end his life? Do you think that?
I think it's a discussion that has to be had between two people. I mean, you need the egg. You need the egg, women need to have a right to do that? You need the egg and you need the sperm. So the baby is 50-50%, 50% from a man, 50% from a woman. I think it's important to have that discussion. If a man wants a child and a woman doesn't, and she is pregnant, then that's a discussion they need to have. At the end of the day, if that woman decides she wants to go and have an abortion, she's going to go ahead and do it anyway.
What do you think, though? Do you think that that's right or wrong?
It's not right.
Him he's wrong.
It's not right and it's not wrong, because I see what your point you're making. You're making the point that, okay, if she is able to go and get rid of this child because she wants to do that, if he says, well, I don't want this child, I'm not going to support it and be in life, it's kind of like the same thing. I mean, that's the point you're making. It's the same thing. And I get that. But that's the problem with us, is that we need to think about these things before we get to the point of having sexual intercourse without a condom. so that you're not making these decisions afterwards and being like, oh shit, I made a mistake. You're doing this, you're thinking about it before. That way you don't make the mistake of being in that situation. If I'm going to sleep with a man, I need to know what his views on are having children. And if a man is going to sleep with me, he should know what my views are on things like abortion, if I want kids. All of that stuff is things that we should be talking about before we get to the point of sleeping unprotected and being able to have a child. I'm 49 years old. I've never had a one-night stand.
I want to be clear with this, okay, Dr. Carter. I know we it seems like we're all on this platform telling this brother that, man, you should go take care of your children. You had them, be accountable to them, be responsible for them. She brought them to term. These children are in existence. They have life. You're not taking care of them. You're wrong. I think that's our stance. I think that's how you came on. So that's what I'm asking. Yeah. We asked him going forward, would he behave this way? So I'm just saying, if you would have had the question, if I could ask you, if you could speak for yourself as a woman, for women, would you say that going forward, because of what he's saying, if all men right now was to say, okay, you know what? If you bring it to term, we're going to act just like this guy. Y'all don't like this. Y'all don't like this reflection of y'all. Y'all don't like this. So if we all said we're going to think like him, what would y'all do? Would y'all say, you know what? Forget it. If you want the baby, we'll have it. But or would you say we're going to keep doing the same thing? Because what I'm telling you is this is what you're going to get. This is y'all reflected. I swear to God. This is the inaccountability that we hating in y'all.
Well, let me ask you a question before I answer that question.
Hey, I got it.
How many times do you think it happens?
We have another build on another day.
Yeah, we can do that. We see. I schedule like 3 or 4 of them in the same span. So shit, I can. If y'all still on by the time I get off, I'll check and see.
That's a bad.
Hey, peace, brother.
Look, if I offended anybody, I usually don't apologize. But Miss Dr. Carter, I ain't try to offend you. I didn't. But when somebody come in, yeah.
Nah,
I'm still
good, bro. You be like that.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that.
I apologize for that, but I come build with y'all, man. Y'all can follow me on social medias right here, House of Hypocrites. Anybody want to talk to me, we can talk, man. I ain't hiding or ducking, no smoke at all. You feel me?
That's
all right.
Hey, Kevin, I had a story that I wanted to tell that was very that connected with what you said earlier. So the last girl I talked to, I was talking to her for a while, and she told me a story about a guy that she was with. He loved her, and they were together, and I guess they mutually agreed that they were going to have unprotected sex, and she got pregnant, and he wanted the child, man, and she left him and aborted him. She aborted the child. He wanted to have the child, and obviously she aborted it, and she said it ripped him. And obviously I stopped talking to her after that. But she said that it ripped him to pieces, man. I think that like that's, if because it could have equally gone the other way too, But if the guy would have been like, hey, I don't really want this, she could have easily just had it, and then the dude would have been like, look, man, we both went into this irresponsible, and if I say I don't want it, but I get it's a really tough subject.
And that's the question that I had. How many times do you guys see where a woman gets pregnant for a man and the man wants the kid, but the woman doesn't and aborts it, compared to a woman wants the kid, the man doesn't, and he walks away and leaves her to raise the child? Like, which is more common? Because I don't see the part where women get pregnant and the man really wants the child and the woman says, F you, I'm going to have an abortion. I don't really see that. I see the other side, but maybe you men see something different.
Well, I think even if you don't see it, it's still an option that can get exercised, though. Like, it's still
I've seen it on both sides myself, actually, but I've definitely seen more where the women aborted the child because the man didn't want it. But I have seen cases where the man actually did want the child, and the woman didn't. So, and they typically use the argument of, it's my body, I don't want to carry it, I don't want to do all the carrying and stuff like that. So,
but there was a case.
That's not the guy that did it.
Yeah, that was it. He said he wasn't the guy. She said she didn't think he was going to be a good father.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a case in the news a couple of years ago where the woman did have the child and gave it to somebody, and the father was able to get custody of the child. A black man too. On top of that, he fought for custody of that child, and I think he got her when she was like 6 years old. So I don't know. Back in the day, from what I see in U.S. culture, because I mean, it's not common in the Caribbean. You would see women get pregnant. Their families would let them have the babies, and then they'll give them up for adoption. And I think that's something that we don't utilize that option. I think people are much more easy to go have an abortion than to take this pregnancy to term and then give the child to the father or to a suitable family, whatever. And that, unfortunately, that doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah, listen. When we look at the way the world looks right now, again, women can bring the baby to full term, and they can give it up for adoption, and the community or the society is not going to be on her head about her being a deadbeat. She can literally give it up and walk completely away. And what I think the problem with that is, for whatever reason, if she doesn't want to take care of that child, we just accept it. If she says it wasn't the right time, I was trying to finish school, I don't have the money, whatever she says, they just allow her to do that. So I look at it like, what if she gave the child up for adoption? And even if she gave it up for adoption, she was still liable to child support to the parent who's raising her child, because that's her responsibility. And you cannot escape that. But see, the government doesn't do that. They will let you give that baby completely up, but they won't let the man. And so that's why I say, like, brothers like House is behaving like this, because they're trying to combat women. They're saying, since y'all can do this, then we're going to do this.
But he did it 7 times, though, Kevin.
I get it. I'm just saying his logic is, because I told you not to have it and you had it anyway. Let's say women didn't have that option. If they didn't have the option to end that baby, he'd have to come up with a different reason why he ain't taking care of them kids. Right now, he's saying, I told you I didn't want them and you had it anyway. In the natural world, you can't do that. If you're having sex, potentially you're going to have a baby, so you had to choose more wisely. So he's looking at the excuses that we have now. We can go take a plan B. We can wear condoms. We can get it aborted. We can give it up for adoption. He's saying, you're not exercising any of those options that help me out once the seed left my body. I'm angry. Your punitive treatment is you're going to raise this baby on your own. It's a cop-out and it's not right. But that's what he's doing.
But 7 times? So, I mean, I understand once or twice. How do you
his
do
logic ain't going to change.
7 times?
He'll use that logic. Well, he said he's done now.
No,
he didn't. So he said he's done now, but he's used that logic this whole time.
He didn't. He said when I think it was Clarence that asked him if he changed the way he's thinking, he said, well, sort of. He didn't actually say.
He said going forward, he won't make no more kids. He said going forward, he'll be accountable to being responsible and not having any more kids. He did say he would do that. But I was saying to him, he should actually take care of the ones he has. And that's the only way to truly be accountable.
I still do think that if he had to rely on one of those kids for a kidney, he probably would ask them. If he had his life going the way he wanted it to, and he couldn't get a black market kidney, because kidney disease doesn't wait until you get a black market kidney for you to get it, or a heart transplant. It takes a long time sometimes. And if those kids were hatched, I'm sure he would take a kidney from that child.
I wouldn't doubt it. I think that the way he's living his life is with very little morals, very little regret and thought. So I think in a moment of your life being on the line, why wouldn't he do something like that? Because, hey, it wouldn't matter if it's evil. When a person want to live, they'll do whatever to live. So if his life is on the line, I can definitely see that happening. I just wanted to tell him, yo, that's fucked up. But I definitely believe that he would do that. You see what I'm saying? Because he's willing to abandon them, and that's wrong. You see what I'm saying? So he don't really care about necessarily morals. It's more like he cares about his way of life. He doesn't care if it's right or wrong. If he don't want to take care of kids, if he told you he don't want them, he's going to do that thing, whether it's right or wrong. Most of us, we have morals. So even if we say a thing like that, we can't do it. So some guys will say, if you have that baby, I ain't taking care of him. But she'll have it and he'll still take care of it because he really can't do that. I got a homeboy who he had to pay child support, and he had 2 children with this lady. He was making like $12 an hour on his job. When he came home, I saw him at Walmart. He told me how much they was taking out of his check. It was over half. He literally wasn't gonna have no money left to himself. And I said, man, he said, listen, since they took that much money from me, I ain't even going to see them kids no more. All they'll get from me is just the money from child support. And he was great with his kids. He took them to church every single Sunday. He was always with them. And I said, Warren, do not do your kids like that. That man looked at me and said, fuck them kids in anger. But I'm going to tell you what he did. A week later, he was right back with his kids again. Now watch this. Later in life, now watch this. He couldn't do it. He loved his kids too much. But in the moment, he said that. Now, later in life, I met another guy. I'm life coaching a celebrity person, right? Multi-millionaire. He's got a bunch of children. I watched him go through that. He wanted to see his children. His baby mothers won't let him see him. They give him a hard time. He's crying about it one day, and I said, listen, man, you just got to keep fighting. And he said the same thing. F them kids. They're saying that because their heart is broken. They ain't really saying F the kids. They're saying F the fact that she can leverage my heart like that. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's
leverage my
different. I
life
think
like that, my
he's really
resources
saying
like that.
he's really saying F those kids.
No, he really saying because I didn't want him. But
Yeah.
those men said it and didn't mean it. So I'm saying he's able to say it and really follow through. That should tell you that his moral outlook on life is very low. So he doesn't make his decisions based on right and wrong. So you're not going to be able to emotionally plead to him. You're not going to be able to talk about how wrong it is. He doesn't care about that.
Which
Some
makes
people
me
don't think like
question
that.
how growing up was for him in his house, and like what kind of interaction did he see with his parents and that kind of stuff. I mean, I grew up with both my parents until my dad
He
died.
did too.
And I grew up with my parents joking and laughing and, you know, going out as a family and partying as a family and all that kind of stuff. That's what I saw, you know. And I 49 this year. I'm in a long-term relationship. This is 20 years. I'm not married yet. I don't see the need to marry, but I have a lot of folks saying to me, why don't you get married? You need to be married. And I'm like, well, why do I need to be married? I've been with this person for 20 years. We are happy as we are. What difference does it make? The only regret I have for myself is that I have no kids, but that's because I spent my whole life studying, you know, and that's my regret. And I don't mind adopting, but my significant other doesn't want to adopt. And I'm not going to bring a situation where I adopt a child into a relationship where the child feels like loved by one parent and the other parent is like, ugh, you know what I mean? So, but that's how I was raised. And so I kind of lived my life the way I was raised. So it'd be interesting to know what his family dynamic was growing up.
Well, no, I asked him. That's the first question I asked him, because I'm thinking, how is it that he landed on the opposite view of me, but with a lot of the same logic? He grew up with the mother and the father, so I was shocked to that, and I was like, "How would your father feel about how you're behaving?" And he said, "My father wouldn't like it." So he said everything that shocked me. I would have thought he came also from a broken home, but he didn't. So he does not know what it's like to not have a father. So I even asked him, I mean, how would you feel if you didn't have a father? He said he don't think that it would change him much, even though while at the same time he values his father. So I feel like I tried every angle to try and give him some perspective. You see what I'm saying? So my hope was that in challenging his perspective, he would choose a different path, thinking about the consequences, because morals don't really, a lot of us don't care about morals. We say we do. We say we believe in a God, but we don't act like it. So I think we do care about consequences, though. And so my thing is, you can't jump off of a building and talk your way out of feeling the pain. You can't punch a wall and talk your way out of your knuckles hurting. Consequences will come. So I don't believe you should be able to have sex with a woman and then say, I'm not taking care of the kid. I think you're being blasphemous to God or the universe, because consequences got to come. They may not all be equal. Like he said, hey, yo, evil may not necessarily come. You're right. Yo, you can die from crossing the street without looking. Crossing the street without looking is not evil. It's not. But it can cost you your life, which is a lot worse in most cases. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say you don't always get evil for wrongdoing, but you do get negative consequences. And we should live our life according to that. We'll be here tomorrow. Like we're not dying today, hopefully. So the fact that you'll be here tomorrow should cause you to make wiser decisions going forward. Don't you agree, Brother Clarence? Hang on, brother.
You're mute.
You're mute. Hang on.
100%. I saw where you were going, man, and I was just trying to hang back. I saw you coming this way, coming that way, coming that way. I saw you trying to get to him, and we all were trying to get to him in our own way. Just like I said, but I got a question for all of y'all, man. Do y'all think that he was being genuine when he said? Because I asked him twice, you know, how you moving today? You know what I'm saying? Are you different today? And sometimes he was giving me inclination that he's still in the same mentality.
He's still in the same mentality.
I don't know if it's just me. What do y'all think? What did y'all think?
He's still in the same mentality, because he did not give you a direct answer. He didn't say.
I see him as a honest person, a person who will speak honesty. I believe he believes that he's changed, but he has not. His philosophy hasn't changed.
I was
So
gonna say
until your philosophy change, you will create the same problems. We can all, like, now Neo said this so wonderfully. I hate I had to get her off, but it just got too intense. She talked about sometimes knowing what you're doing right now and still doing it is an indication that you're not going to change it. It's just not true. So most of us know the necessary steps to fix our life right now and ain't doing it. Laziness is what's killing us, yo.
Yeah.
We can know tomorrow we need to wake up and work out, and then we'll wake up and our body, the devil, the double, will convince you not to go work out. You see what I'm saying? You ain't 100% today. You know you don't feel that up to it. And then you will use that excuse to not get up and do it. We all do it. We all constantly in competition with our vessel. So just because you know the problem and are not willing to fix it today, don't mean you ain't gonna fix it in the future. So that's why I say we gotta keep plugging. That's love. He said you can't change it. We can't go beat him up. We can't force him. So we gotta keep speaking life into him. And I don't think it's by saying you're a deadbeat. I think it's by saying, bro, you good enough and you matter. Because that's what these children would be saying for him. He does matter. The brother is needed. 7 children need this man in their life. So we cannot tell this man he's not needed. It's just not true. They need him.
I think you approached it really well. I think when I was in the comment section of the broadcast, a lot of people thought that you were getting through to him, and I do think that we got through to him somewhat. In that, he finally said something like, well, I'm 27 now, and I still have the rest of my life to change. And I think we gave him some perspective. There's just no way that he can't go and think about this afterwards. I mean,
no, he's too intelligent. There's
he
no
has
way.
to sit down and think about some of the points that we made, and he probably does have some regret, even though he says he doesn't. I think he's seeing it now. And to be honest with you, any women that are seeing this broadcast or seeing him going viral, he might not be getting as much pussy, excuse my language, as he think he gonna get in the future.
Well, let me say this, y'all. I don't care how bad of a man everybody thought he was. The man he had some good in him enough to apologize. And when a man can apologize, man, there is some good in that man.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of good in the man, just haven't been accessed yet, in my opinion. And
it is. But I think that's one of the things that bothered me in the comments, man. Is like you'll see,
you're right, you say he knows better.
You'll see him talk, and you just see the comments. People just tearing him down, and I'm like, and I can see in him. For one, he's very honest, which for the most part, I at least felt for most things. But I'd probably say 99% of things, he was really honest. I really do think that he didn't want the kids. He seems like a very straightforward guy. And the fact that he was even open to get on here, and even when he was getting hit with a bunch of different tough questions, he really wasn't getting defensive. It was a couple times where he was getting a little roughed up because he might have been tougher questions, but he was always willing to give an answer, to listen. He spent a lot of time listening to Kevin talk. And I think that shows that he has those characteristics that he can grow into to be the guy that shows up for his kids. And I think that's probably what Kevin saw. Is like, dude, you got the qualities, man. He's just got
Listen, Joshua, I can hear it in his voice, in his tone, in his intellect that he has amazing ancestors from way back, man. I'm trying to summon them. That's what I'm trying to speak out of him. I want one of those ancestors in his DNA to hear him and raise up. I'm dead serious, bro. Literally, that's what be holding us back. We don't do enough time in elevating our own self.
Mm-hmm.
You got a whole generation of people that have been pouring into who you are today, and we just forgetting about them. We're looking out at the world thinking the journey is outside. The journey is inside. You're supposed to be unlocking this DNA inside of you. So every person that ever came before you is in you. So you are the I am. You represent every person that ever came before you. I'm just trying to summon one of those mighty people that's in this brother so he can change his life around for those children. If you ever see the movie Avatar, whenever they go back to spirit world and he's looking at all those other versions of him, if you could go look inside of yourself and see your DNA, you will see every single one of them people standing strong. His father lives in him. His grandfather does. And I'm hoping that they speak to him and challenge him to change. Because right now, what he's doing is he's destroying his own legacy and everybody who came before him. All of them, every ancestor in him got a stake in this. So again, all those children got his same face. They got his eyes, and he literally is being blasphemous. I wanted him to see that. But it's not, it don't work by saying you're a horrible person and you suck. And that's just not how you speak life into people and how you get them to see it.
And I recognize that I recognize that afterwards, because I was one of those people who were tough on him in the comments. I really was. I'm not even going to say I wasn't. But then I realized where you were coming from when you started talking to him. And I said, you know what? Maybe Kevin is going to get through to him on some level, you know? I do think he has potential. I do think though that he would benefit from like a men's forum, like how the guys are here, the old guys, the more wise guys. If he could come back on and talk to us again, you know, I think if you can do that, it really will help him, you know, and maybe that's how we change the world. You know, we start with ourselves and those around us first, and that extends out, you know. And I think that he has potential. I mean, I was really impressed the fact that he did apologize, you know. And sometimes we don't realize it, but universe has a way of humbling us. Whether you call it universe or God, sometimes they have a way of humbling us.
It does.
I saw it in him. I saw it in him. I saw it in him. He had it. He had it in him. It's just he ain't used to accessing it.
Right.
And so the more he gets, right now he's used to accessing that other thing, and that's what he's successful at.
Right.
And so that's why he keeps doing that. But as he gets more successful accessing the other half of himself, the better half of himself, I think he will do that more.
And he's angry too. And I know, you know, one of the things that I find that Black people, and I am not even apologizing for saying this, Black people, he's a gentleman that I think would benefit from a counselor, not a psychiatrist, a counselor.
Absolutely.
I have a counselor. I see a psychologist every single week because I deal with a lot of death in my field, and life happens. And it's always good to be able to bounce life off of somebody who's not intimately involved with you.
Mike has a sound. 1 second, Zamora. I'm going to unmute you in a second, love. Go ahead, Dr. Carter.
Yeah, I was saying, I think that we don't utilize counselors enough. And I mean, you guys are active counselors now. And I think a lot of us Black people would benefit from that because we have a lot of trauma that exists from way before we were born. It's in our DNA. Our ancestors went through so much, and a lot of us carry that going forward.
Hang on 1 second, Dr. Carl. Let me try to give Zamora a chance to speak here. She keeps unmuting her mic. Hang on 1 second. Zamora, I want to give you a chance to speak. Zamora, you there?
Yes.
Okay, I want to give you a chance to speak.
Oh, okay. Yeah, where's Mr. House?
He had to go do another interview. We're going to interview him again later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had a question. My first question was, why? But this is a question for him. Why are you here? Why did you put this on the internet that you had 7 children by I don't know how many mothers? He's not the first. He's not the last. And what was so important that he did this? And why fight about it? He acts like he doesn't care. It seems like an act. Because why would you put it on something like, oh, I don't know what he said.
I got you, love. So yeah, those are great questions. I can ask him some of those next time. If I could answer for him, I believe he was saying that he was telling some of his stories on TikTok. He has had large platforms before, so I believe he began to tell his story to increase his following, to substantiate his following. So like a lot of people do now, they do this story time thing where they tell even the worst things they've ever done. So I think that he was attempting to do that. He said he had a larger Instagram before, and then he had a TikTok, and he still has a TikTok. I think TikTok might have just recently banned his page though, because people probably reported it, but he seemed to have a big channel on both sides. So I think he did it for conversation starters. Just like you see women doing videos talking about how they treat men and it be outright detestable. You thinking, why would they be willing to even say this out loud? It's just something that's common in our day now. People do that. They expose themselves.
But you know, is it that, or is it that these videos, and when you get a certain amount of followers, you become a millionaire? Because to be honest with you, these online people, YouTubers and all that stuff, they're making a whole lot of money.
Right.
And
it definitely could be.
Kevin Wesley, one of them.
The last thing he said before he went off was he gave us how to follow him. Did you hear that? The last thing he said, you guys can follow me at da-da-da-da-da, and then he went off.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, he's always going to plug his content. He has books that he's writing, so of course he's going to make this lucrative. So I can see this. I can see a lot of people in the world going live and telling their truth for whatever reason. So I know there's always going to be some intent behind it, but what I'm more interested in is the content of what he's saying. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I believe the moral question is a good question, but also I prefer to deal with the content of what he said, not the why, not his agenda. You know what I mean? The main thing I want to do is try to get to the bottom line of his consciousness about these children, so we can try to get those children a father. Anybody else have anything to add?
I honestly think. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for letting me come on, Kev, man. Been following you for a long time, man. Finally good to actually talk to you, man. Agree with you, probably 99%. You know what I mean? But still, man, you're a good brother. Appreciate you for bringing me up, and maybe we can do this again, man. I appreciate you, man, and thank you everybody in the channel on a panel for having patience with an old man like me, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Oh, wise! Don't call yourself old. You're a wise man.
Brother Clarence, you're a wise brother. I love how you counseled the young brother on the words that he was using towards Neo. A lot of people do not understand that you have to use tact when dealing with our brothers. You can't just speak to them any kind of way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to speak with tact. So I love that. I think you got the message to him across to him well, and he even apologized in the end. So we can definitely work together in the future.
Made a play. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Yes, thank you, Brother Clarence.
I honestly think.
So much.
Hey, Kel.
Yes, sir.
I honestly think that he know we telling the truth. I think he's just like one of those tight, stubborn guys that, you got that homeboy that even though he know, like you can be like, man, the color's blue. He'll be like, no, it ain't, it's red. Even though it's blue, like he still just be like, no, it's blue. Right. Like one of those type of people. I honestly think that everybody on here got to him, man. But he's so stubborn that he got to still have the right answer at the end. Like one of those type of people.
Well, I agree with you. I think it's regardless of the answer. His logic is, because I told you I don't want him, and you had it anyway. And if you wanted to, you could end the baby, and you got all these leeways. That's why I'm doing it. He's looking at it like the woman has considered the consequences. She's considered the child when she ends it. She's considered everybody she's going to let down in her legacy. So he's saying, why can't I do that? You know what I mean? So I think he's like going cold to it. And you're absolutely right. He knows that we are right because he's smart. Some of the questions I asked him, he didn't answer the question because he knows that he would be wrong. He would have to confront the fact that he is wrong. You see what I'm saying about a lot of the conclusions that he came to. But regardless of that, he's standing on this simply because he told them up front. That's his logic. That's his main logic right there.
Did he mention anything about sexually transmitted diseases and his fears of that?
He did. He said he wasn't thinking about none of that. He was thinking about a nut. So he was like, if that would have happened, he would have had something too. But fortunately for him, he didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? But he said he wasn't thinking about none of that. He was just trying to get action there. But there was a question that you asked him. What if his children what if he needed a kidney? Would he reach out to his children? And remember, he said, I ain't concerned about that. That was a time that he could have answered the question, but he forsook the question. And people typically do that whenever they have to confront the flaw in their logic. You see, so it was like, well, just if that happened, it happened. I'm like, no, let's not say that. Really say what would happen. I want to know what you'll say. Let's not deflect away from that question. So I can see a couple of different moments there where he didn't answer the question. Now, if it were just he and I were counseling him, then I would have asked different questions, but I didn't want to put him on a hot seat in front of people. I really just wanted to interview him. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I was saying, let's not be so judgmental. Let's hear him so he can get out what he's saying, and then we can judge it later after he's gone. Like when we're looking at the video, we've got everything that he said, because sometimes people will clam up and they won't talk anymore because they're wondering if the next thing they say they'll be judged for it. You know what I mean? I want him to be able to speak freely so we can really crack this open, because y'all got to see what y'all working with here. Yeah. He might be one man, but he is not one man. You understand? He speaks for a lot of men, right? And you understand that a lot of men agree wholeheartedly with what he's saying, and they behave that way, but not say it out loud. It's been out through history. There have been men that say, fuck it, I'm not taking care of these kids because I didn't want them. So he represents that. I've never heard a man say that like that. So that's why I was like, I got to get him on my platform and interview him, because that is crazy, you know. But y'all, you have to ask yourself, guys, are you creating this? We look at, let's talk about the Bible. The Bible created the devil and then regretted it, right? Now, are we regretting the world that we're creating? Because none of us are exempt consequence. When we look at the world and we say, okay, I want to behave with no judgment. We want freedom from judgment, right? We want freedom to express our sexuality. This means sleep with people with no commitment and not be called out of our name for it. We want to act this way. So we're saying we want to be free to abandon our children if need be. We want to be free to have sex without a condom and not be judged. How many of multiple partners? If this is the type of freedom we want, this is the community we'll have. So do you really want freedom? I mean, do you really want freedom at the expense of destroying your whole damn community? I think we should have social rules. Have your freedom, but some things we should excommunicate people for. Like we won't even get rid of people who touch our kids, the uncles and aunts who touch our kids. We don't get rid of them, but we'll get rid of somebody because they don't believe in Jesus. We should get rid of people for these exact behaviors. When you have children that don't take care of them, you're no longer part of the tribe. You're out.
Yeah. And isn't that how like
babies, you out, you excommunicated. You're no longer considered the family.
Yeah.
We
Isn't
need
that
to
how
have
Indians are though?
This serious.
Isn't that how Indians are? Like a lot of the other cultures.
Yeah, they don't play. And it's about government. Their family is the judge, jury, and execution.
Yeah.
You want to be in your father's family. If not, you don't get no help from nowhere. You own your own. Imagine Cain having to navigate the world with the sign on his forehead that he killed his brother. That's what it's like being ostracized from your tribe.
Yeah.
But right now, we don't even really have family to know the benefit of family. So really, we grew up saying F family because our family ain't there for us. So we don't care about fitting into these little families.
Right.
That's why we be saying like blood ain't really thicker than water. Like we don't know what tribe is, man. Like we are not unified at all. We don't even have family.
We're not.
That should be so important to us that we move in a different way to uphold the honor of our family. If our parents messed up, they didn't give us that. The love for your own brand, your last name. We'll go buy all these different clothes and break the bank to wear their brand on us. That's somebody's last name. We need to care about our last name to that degree.
Right. It's true. You know, I find a lot of women that I know nowadays say they're not bringing kids into this world anymore because it's just a horrible place. I mean, I hear that from so many women that
it's a horrible place because of us. It sounds crazy. It sounds crazy for us to say, I'm not having babies anymore in this cruel world. You're the cruel world. It sounds nuts.
Yeah. But it's true.
So it's like we're going to punish creation for what we did. That's like God saying you're going to hell for sinning. Like it's the same stupid stuff. You're blaming creation. You did it. Turn from your ways, and the world will change. If you stop living like you don't have values and principles, the world will correct itself. But that looks like discipline. That looks like consistency. It looks like setting the example. See, we just want to talk. That's why I said we Towers of Babel. We want to tell people how they should live. Think about all the women that's on this live who's aborted children sitting here trying to tell this man about himself. Yo, I can't. Until we all recognize our reflection in that man and we all look in the mirror and change our ways, our community is going to look like that man right there. So hate it or love it, that's the world that you're taking part in creating. Think about this, man. Ignorance is evil. So when you move blindly, look at what you're making. Somebody tell me I'm wrong.
You have a point there. I can tell you that because I didn't look at it that way before.
And I didn't realize it until I started listening to him that I think because I tend to fall. Like most of the time I can usually see where people come from. It's very rare that I don't or I can't. But I thought about it for me because I was adopted, man. My mom left me in the middle of a park, you know, and I knew who my mom was. For some reason, my dad was never disclosed. I was adopted, you know, but I never really. But when I was younger, I never really had any desire to want to know them. Now I'm getting older. Like you said, it's like, man, you think about it, like, who was he?
Right.
You know,
that's sad, man. Look, so I was born to a mother who died by the time I was 3. But she was actually married to another man. She was married to another man when she had my brother who's older than me. And she confessed to that man that she had been cheating on him. And the baby was born looking just like the other man. The man she was married to stayed with her. He said, I love you so much. I'll raise him like he's my own. He already had 2 little girls with her and he wanted a boy. So because my brother was a boy, he was like, I'll raise him like my own. We won't even say nothing. That's wrong. But they did that. She got pregnant again. He asked her, was you still messing with that man? She said, yeah. He left when I was in her womb. Most of my life, I felt ostracized because I'm lighter complected than my brothers and sisters. They always try to tell me I don't look like them. I feel like I look exactly like who I've been told my daddy was, right? But that man who was married to my mother, he's dead now. So just imagine if that man is my daddy. That would mean my mama and my daddy dead. I have nightmares where I'll do a sibling test with my brother and find out we ain't all the way siblings, which would mean my daddy's actually in the dead, bro, dead. Or what if neither one of them's my daddy? You see what I'm saying? I love my mother. She died before I even got to know her. But yo, who knows what she was doing? You see what I'm saying? And I didn't find this out until I was an adult. I was about to go to Cuba. I was doing missionary work. And so I had to go get my birth certificate, and I saw that who I thought was my daddy wasn't on my birth certificate. It blew my mind.
Wow.
I'm having to find myself, collect myself in that moment. The guy
hard.
there, like I didn't know who I was because I didn't know who was on my birth certificate, you know? But this is when I began to ask questions. So my whole life up until that point, I was judging my father for not being there for me. Never had I taken a lens to my mother. When I learned my mother was cheating on her husband, I didn't know how to do that. Like, that's my God. She was perfect to me. See, I realized my daddy's an asshole because he's still alive, and I can blame shit on him. My mama was a God because she died early, and I told myself if she was alive, I'd have had a great life. But I don't know that. I would have still had struggles. Let's be real. My mother was still human.
Right.
And so it's now like, how do I look at my mother? I just had to let it go. And I said, you know what? If I'm going to be that way for my mother, I might as well be that way for my father. Judge them equally, which is not at all. They created me, and I'll be a better son than they were parents to me. But I'll never talk shit about them again, because I wouldn't even have life if it wasn't for them gods right there. So I can talk about their morals all I want to. Man, I'm on this planet, and I get to carry out my purpose. So whoever I was inside of my father, I guess my voice was strong enough to get him to ignore that another man had a wife. Okay, I guess it was strong enough for my mother to look past all that because I got here regardless by any means necessary. So even though I don't like how I got here, man, I just tell myself I am the result of whatever happened to get me here. I'm here, bro. But I feel your heart. My heart broke when you told me that your mother gave you. Listen, man, that shit sucks. And that's why I try to tell parents, stop doing this shit to your kids. It's painful. We shouldn't have to come in this world like that. That's why I say we're innocent as children. They've lived their life, so they don't get a right to say my life, my choice. You made a choice with the life that you lived, and you made me. So now your attention should be on us. Damn it. How you gonna sit here and have kids and then walk away saying, hey, my life is still mine? Now your life is yours till you made me. You got a right to live whatever life you want till you make me. Because that's what children know this. You be there for your kids, man. Y'all out there, be there for your children. I don't know what's getting into this damn world out here. Well, it's been gotten into the world, but who you think responsible for changing it? We can blame our parents, we can blame the parents, but who's responsible for changing it? Not whose fault it is.
Each individual.
It's ours. So if we all went to our private place and said, let's make the decision to change how we're moving. Let's live an elevated life. Let's make wise decisions. The world would instantly become better. Are we willing to do that? Or are we just wanting some people to do it while we run out here and act like whoremongers, deadbeat fathers, deadbeat mothers? Is that what we're going to do? Like, what are we going to do? Because your life will look like your actions. I keep telling you this. You're born looking like your parents, but you're going to die looking like your actions. You cannot blame them for who you are when you're a grown-ass man now. Grown-ass woman. You can't blame them.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Unfortunately, though, some people don't have
teachers. Hell or heaven around you, brick by brick.
But you see how you're a teacher? You are a teacher. That's your destiny. That's your purpose, to be a teacher, to be a guide. And some people don't have that. And I'm happy that he has that now in you, because now you have that connection with him to make a change so that it goes down the road, you know, and hopefully those kids don't feel abandoned and have the same attitude that he has because of how they were abandoned. A lot of people don't have that, you know. I feel like something happened with him that has him so bitter. And I don't know what it is that has him so bitter, because you just don't grow up to have that mindset. Something had to have happened to cause you to have that mindset. But now he has a teacher in you. And I think that's going to serve him well.
You know what I think? You know what I think would help him? I think what would help him is getting involved with working with children. Outside of
like being a coach or something.
And because I think that's one thing that changed my perspective is when I used to work with kids. You know, I used to work with in the more troubled community, and I used to see a lot of times like stepdads will come in and the mom will come in, and usually it's crazy because I can usually tell, like I can tell when the home's kind of broken just by my interaction with the kids. You know, I think it would probably maybe give us some insight, because I feel like the only thing that's going to change them is an experience. he's gonna have to experience something, whether that's he really, really fucks up or something happens, or like Bob says, one of his daughters sleeps with somebody. But I feel like he's gonna have to experience something, outside of us telling him. I think that might help him, man, is to go work with some kids and work in his community and kind of see what kids end up turning like when they don't have their father, or kids that yearn for that father in their life and don't have it. And that might touch him differently, coming from.
He would have to be a willing person to do that, and I don't think he's at that point yet where he's going to be willing to do that.
I'll say this right here. Some of those experiences are due him, and he can't escape them. I told him early in the beginning of the live. I don't know if you guys saw that part, but I told him that today, that's easy to say. Those children are very young, okay, but they will get older and they will be asking questions. And those mothers are going to say, that's your daddy. And they're going to come up to you and you're going to have to talk to those kids. So you won't be able to avoid it forever. See, I went to my father and I asked him that question. Why wasn't you there for me when I was a child? He looked at me and said, my daddy wasn't there for me. That's when I understood that he was just doing what he knew. And I looked at him and said, but how did that make you feel? And he started crying, Josh. He started crying. All I asked was a question, and how did that make you feel? He thought about it and just busted out crying and said, I'm sorry. And I knew he was for real. Man, I forgave that man. You think I'm about to sit here and be mad at somebody who's genuinely sorry, who didn't realize that they wasn't there for me? Just imagine, a lot of parents, they doing what they know to do. And then as the world changes, the children judge through a different lens than they did when they were growing up. So now those children come back to those parents, judging them for how they live. And those parents didn't know. That's why I say, look back in the 70s. It wasn't no vet until married. They was just fucking, man. So when we go back to those parents saying, why wasn't you there for me? Why wasn't you? They like, and they'll just cry because they like, yo, I don't know how to handle that. I don't know how to go back in time and make up for something that I did without having structure. I was just moving. They just sleepwalking, man. They're not sitting here thinking. So we grow up as children having the resentment and the pain from what they put us through, thinking that they understood that. They don't. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying as children, we project onto them. They must just not care about us, because who could walk away from their children? Man, them people they don't even have the intellect you do. My father didn't even have the propensity to understand some of the things I was trying to explain to him. So I had to understand that he's truly sorry. And he gave me his best explanation. And he does try to do better in the future. We have a good relationship now. So I know he's sorry because he changed going forward. So you would never know he wasn't there for me now. You see what I'm saying? Number one, I don't go around dumping dirt on his name like I used to. Man, I was a horrible son. I thought that was cool because that's how kids grow up. Talk shit about your dad. He wasn't there for me. He wasn't there for me. I would never do that again. Even if he deserved it, I wouldn't do it again, man. He gave me life. And I'll tell you this, people said, I see what Kevin went through. I see what fuels his passion. Because of what I have gone through, I don't like my last name. My mother's name, Wesley, that belongs to some man that her mother was married to. That is not the cause of me being born. So my actual grandfather's last name is Dodd, but I'm named Wesley because my mother's mother didn't get a divorce before she had me. So my name ain't my name. So I then gave this name to my 2 wives and 3 children, a name of a man who I don't even know. You think I'm letting this man's name go with me into the future? Hell nah. So I changed my name. We all did the paperwork on that. My legacy will be my own because I don't even know who I am. I can't even go back and try to find out who my real father is. I ain't even trying to unlock that. But I can make a decision going forward. My children will have their father, and then their children will have their father. But that's the world I can create. That's the world that I got to say so in. I can't speak to the past. That's ridiculous. That's why I said we all got to do the work to say, okay, you know what? Maybe this pain that I was brought up in as a child is supposed to be the catalyst to fuel my passion for changing the world. So my perspective is I grew up without a father and a mother. So maybe that's what's fueling me to speak so lovingly towards children having a mother and father. So maybe it was destined. So maybe I can't even say mama and daddy wrong. Maybe it is no such thing. All I know is if we don't make decisions right now for the betterment of our future, our world is doomed. I don't care if you use spirituality. I don't care if you use yin and yang. I don't care what we go out every day and face is a broken community. And I think we all agree with that. And I think we all know, regardless of what you want to put behind it, our actions is what's going to change it. That's it. The way we act is what's going to change it. That's why I keep saying we got words with Towers of Babel. Words are actually action. Gratitude looks like showing appreciation, not just saying it. Discipline looks like getting your ass up every day and doing that thing, whether you feel like it or not. Mastering man frame, you won't always feel like it. That's what discipline is, though. It ain't fun. Like, I want to get rich. That ain't fun. Getting rich looks like saving money. It looks like making better decisions. You can't live in instant gratification and be rich. It ain't fun. So we don't know the process. It's difficult. Getting in shape ain't easy. Yo, it's hard. You're going to be sore, right? You're going to wonder if you're still changing. You're going to look in the mirror and get discouraged because you don't look like what you want to look like. You're going to get on the scale and be discouraged. That's what working out is like. That shit ain't fun. That's why I say, like, until we understand that words are actions, we just going to keep on being towers of Babel talking. We think the way we get what we want is to pray to God. The way you get what you want is to go do it. Ain't nobody stopping you. There's nobody on the other side of destiny waiting on you to do the right thing so it can give it to you. The world is waiting on you to move. You want a better life, go get it, family. It ain't no God that can give you that.
I'm telling you.
How irresponsible would that be? Give you something because you prayed for it. How irresponsible is that? Man, there's people who dying of starvation that pray. You got to get out of here with that. You got to change the life into what you want it to be. You have the power to create the world. You are a God. The moment you start talking and you start doing, that's when you'll have what it is that you want. It's in due time, D-O time, not D-U-E. You got to do the work. And that's why I told him, you got to get out of the thought. You got to stop thinking that you won't be a good father. You got to stop dealing with the logic that makes you lean to not being a father, because that's all idle thought. What the world should look like is action. When you know you having a child, you're supposed to just stand your ass up and do what you're supposed to do. That's what's supposed to happen. You're not supposed to make excuses and start doing a bunch of talking. That is feminine. That's not how men's supposed to move. You understand that thought holds you back? You sitting here, you see a girl you like. You sitting here wondering about if she high maintenance, if she gonna like you, if you tall enough. Man, just go over there and talk to her. Like, lions don't do that before they chase a gazelle. You know that, right? You think they're saying, I wonder if I can catch that gazelle. Man, if you hungry, run and run fast as you can, bruh. That's life.
That's true, though. That's true. I mean, that's my story there, right?
It ain't gonna be easier for you. That gazelle will run faster. If you ever think you will ever get to a place to where you ain't got to prove yourself, you're wrong. When that gazelle see you, Mr. Lion, it's running faster than it ever ran in its life. It ain't gonna lay down for you. You understand? Like, the grass don't even jump in the gazelle's mouth. In order for the gazelle to get the grass, it's got to risk the lion. Ain't nothing come to you without work, man.
And hard work, not easy work. You know,
it's wild. That's why I see the real
people,
world, but we don't act like it.
I see people think, you know, oh, you're a doctor, it's easy. No, it's not easy for me.
No.
I left my family in the Caribbean. I got into a bad car accident in Maryland. I got back injuries, wrist fracture, shoulder dislocation. I have a spinal cord device in my back. I just had surgery 2 Thursdays ago. I'm supposed to be off for 6 weeks, but my job, I'm only going to be off for 2 weeks. I'm going back to work with a walker, which I'm using now. And I have a wheelchair for when I can't walk. And I have crutches for when I can use it. But I'm going back to work and doing what I have to do. And it's not easy. I get up every single day in pain. It doesn't ever go away, but I get up every single day and show up.
And that's what it takes to be you.
Every day.
That's your sacrifice to be you. Somebody might wish they had what you have. No, they don't. They have to trade that for pain. They'd have to give up all their fun experiences for all of your hard working experiences.
Exactly.
That's why people tell me, Kevin, I want what you have. No, you won't, because you will have a dead mama. You don't want what I have.
You don't know what the journey is.
You have to be me to get it.
Yeah.
You have to give up all your family that you think you know and trade them for mine in order to have what I have, yo. You see what I'm saying? We're not. So that's why just work with what you have. You know what I mean? I applaud you for being consistent through this accident, through the pain being in your body. You keep on trucking because there's something great on the other side of that.
It has to be. It has to be. Even if it's to encourage somebody not to give up. I mean, I'm sitting in the bed. I can't get out of bed without help right now. Every time I turn in the bed, I can't roll over. I'm screaming in pain. I had to sit in the bath chair to bathe myself. It's not easy. Every day I go to work. There's 10 days I go to work and I can't even walk because the pain is so bad. But I show up every single day.
How long did they say your recovery time may take?
It's 3 months. And it takes up to a year for the procedure to work. And this is the last procedure. This is the last option. And they told me, you're 100% disabled. You can't work. And I said, screw that. Screw you and screw that.
Mind over matter.
I did not go to school all this time and give up every single thing for somebody to come and tell me I'm disabled and I need to take disability. Hell no.
And you
And I
said
wouldn't
you
give up.
said something that's so key. Remember earlier I said being rich ain't fun.
Mm-mm.
I always tell people that you are responsible for your own healing, regardless of who hurt you. It may be their fault that you're hurt, but you're responsible for your healing. And I liken that to when you get cut, your muscles, your tissue heals you, not the thing that hurt you. It's not responsible for healing you. You are. The Band-Aid don't heal you, you do. The cast don't heal your bones, you do. But healing don't feel good, does it? Healing is painful, ain't it? And I keep trying to tell people that healing is painful. So as you wake up every day in pain, know that you're healing. That pain is saying you're still alive. Access to that pain is letting you know you are still alive to yet experience that pain. Some people, that area goes completely numb. This means that it's over for them. So the sheer fact that you have that pain is an indication that you are healing. So claim your healing. And every single day, don't be afraid to do that rehabilitation, because that's the thing that you know, it aggravates the wound. You know what I mean? That's the thing we don't really want is rehabilitation. We don't want to be challenged on the things that we've been hurt doing. You know, but when that person is working with your leg or whatever body part and it hurts, they need to do that. But a lot of times we don't want them to. We don't want them to touch that area or deal with that spot. So you keep on rehabilitating. So I know sometimes it can get easy to not go and do that because it's painful, but stick to it. I've been through it. That's the only reason I'm saying that to you.
Yeah, I'm pushing through. I mean, God got to come and tell me to stop.
Indeed.
You know, I'm pushing through because at the end of the day, I could always say to myself, I tried as hard as I could. Whether I succeed or not, I gave it all that I had. And that's important to me.
Yes, ma'am. That's
You know.
powerful.
So
Listen, guys, I hope that we can go back and look at this live. And while we're examining this guy and some of the ways that he thinks, I'm hoping above all that we can see ourselves reflected in this person. If we know that we've all been involved in hookup culture, we didn't ask no questions, we just slept with them or whatever. We know we've done similar things to this guy. We may not be him in its entirety. There may be small differences, but if you hate what you see, I encourage you to go look in the mirror and change what parts of you mirror that person. Okay, because some of the things that we do is exactly like he's doing them, and we're not doing them because we're evil. We're doing them because we're horny. We're doing them because we're not aware. We're doing them because we're just trying to have fun. And like I keep telling y'all, the Western concept is ignorance is a bliss. Yeah, it feels good to not know, but the African principle is ignorance is evil. In your ignorance, you will be downright evil because you will not think about the consequences of your actions. It's true. You will walk through the grass and kill every ant in that damn grass because you won't care about the steps you're taking. But boy, if you were just to look down, you might try and avoid that. You might. And I'm just encouraging you guys, look down. Look, have foresight. Don't just be looking in the moment, because the thing you're doing in the moment can ruin your damn life. Trust me. Trust me. Sex leads to life, family. So the thing you're doing in the moment, while it feels good, that might be the wrongest thing you could ever do. We got to understand emotions don't line up with morals. Nasty food is typically good for you. Good food is typically bad for you. We learn this stuff by reflecting off of life. Just because something seemed like the right thing to do or feel like it in the moment, don't mean that in the moment he feels right. I ain't taking care of them kids because I told you to. It feels right. If he uses emotions, he feels right. When women use that emotion, it feels right. When they say, I'm going to end this baby because I ain't ready. I don't like him. I ain't ready. We ain't got no money. Whatever the case may be. Yo, she's thinking about how she feels right now. I'm saying that's not how the best decisions are made. They're made by looking into the future and calculating. That's how they're made. So I encourage you guys, be more aware. Stop moving by your avatars. Your vessel is what's ruining this world. This is the devil. This is the devil. It's built to seek out desire and good taste. It's your consciousness that's supposed to elevate this vessel. So when you want to go eat whatever you want without the consequences of what you look like, it's your consciousness that says, wait a second, I know what I want to look like and I know how I want to feel. Let me avoid that meal. That's what your consciousness, if your body is defeating your consciousness, you are serving the devil. Please understand that. I have set before you who you shall serve, good or evil. When you are choosing the way of the flesh, family, I'm telling you now, it'll feel good. But that's the double. That's the flesh. It does not think about your well-being. So make sure that you know you're going to get to the future, and make every decision be to benefit your future self. Now, you got a hell of a partner waiting for you in the future. Help them out today, please. The version of you tomorrow that wants to wake up and start their dreams, help them out today by giving them a little jump start. You see what I'm saying? Help out yourself 10 years from now. Now, I want you to understand how we are. Every year, we'll come up with amazing, amazing New Year's resolutions. That New Year's resolution will be to get all the way in shape and to get all the way financially straight in 1 year. That is ridiculous. How about a 10-year plan? Just a 10-year plan. Get financially straight over the next 10 years and keep building to that. Get in shape over the next 10 years and keep building to that. If we start looking out and making 10-year decisions, we'll make better decisions today. Everybody want to move a certain way today, but ask them their 5-year plan. They won't know it, but every year they got a New Year's resolution. That's crazy.
Yep.
If we understand there's more time and we carry ourselves with pace, we won't be sitting here down on ourselves thinking we got to accomplish it all today or this year. Slowly you will build it, family, and when you build it, it'll stay. But if you keep taking shortcuts, it will not last long. You ever hear the proverb, give a man a fish, he will only eat for a day. But if you were to teach him to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. It's a lot easier to receive a fish than to receive lessons to go catch fish. One takes more time, right? But I'm telling you, your survival is in you learning to catch that fish. Stop taking the easy way out, family. And that's all. Please be encouraged to come back and view with us again. This got me on fire. I'm gonna start going live on here all the time.
Always encouraging.
Wow.
Always, yeah.
And it's crazy. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. Thank you so much, Dr. Carter. Thank you, Vibes. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, all of you guys who contributed to the live. I'm gonna give you guys a moment to say your thing, and I'll get off. What were you gonna say, Vibes?
I was just saying it was crazy how me, you, and Joshua all kind of like got like the same situation as far as like the parents and how we was like trying to talk to the guy. I mean, I might have got a little emotional, but I think it was based off of, like you said, that going through that experience and not having parents in your life, and just to hear him just talk like that kind of like threw me off, man.
Yeah, it takes
so I just want to apologize if I said anything offensive to anybody or anything, like, even though I know I probably didn't, but just wanted to apologize for that also, man.
Yeah, that's beautiful, brother.
Yeah.
I think that brother could see that. I think he needs to see that a lot of the times that the anger that he's getting from these men is because, man, we're hurting about what he's saying. We've been those children, so we know that somewhere deep down he's abandoning us. We will want our father, and to think our father was somewhere talking like that, it's infuriating. It was difficult for me not to just go in and yell and scream, but this is not what that was for. That's why I stayed in man frame. Joshua, I'll give you the floor next.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, man, the last statements that you made just kind of really speaks to me. I think I'm at that point. It's just patience, man, and understanding that things really take time. I just think that, we're in the culture where like everybody likes to plan for like the short term, but when it comes to like really planning to like achieve something long term, which is I think where you really actually reap the benefits, I think is really tougher. And yeah, I've been realizing it, man. I've been taking it slow, and it's crazy, man, because years will go by and you're like, man, like it took a few years for me to finally figure this out and get going. And I guess some people don't, when you're going through the whole process, you think that, it comes overnight. And sometimes you don't realize it, man. You might have to, fall on your face for 3 years.
Yeah.
And to the fourth year, you start moving your feet.
Take the things you're good at in life as far as talent. Think about all the years it took you to build up to that. Day one, you couldn't draw that good or write that good or do whatever the thing was that good. It takes every single day. It's a process before you can truly see what you're made of. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Dr. Carter, you want to leave with some words, love?
Yeah. So thank you so much. I really enjoyed being a part of this. I just want to tell people, like, life is hard. It comes with its challenges, and everybody has challenges, even though you may not see it. People may portray different things on Facebook or Instagram. You think that life is happy and lucky go out for some people, and it's not. It's not always what you see. But know that we all have our journeys to go on, and we have that resilience in us. Our ancestors went through so much for us to be here. I can't imagine what the ancestors went through for me to be a Black female oncologist, who trained at the National Institute of Health. That's unheard of. That is unheard of.
Right.
And I am grateful. I strive to make them proud. And if I can help my brothers and sisters, I will do that, you know. And I'm hopeful that you did, or that we were able to touch him, because he did say, you know, I'm 27, I still have more time to grow. And to me, that's the most encouraging thing that I've heard from him today.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I'm looking forward to when you interview him again, you know, being part of the forum and encouraging him however we can without attacking him or making him feel like we're judging him, because you're right. We all make mistakes. We've all done things that we're ashamed of. And one sin, everybody sins. There's no sin that's bigger than the other. And so you walk past the street and you see a hungry person begging you for food and you just walk past them. To me, that's a sin. That's the same thing as if, you know, what this guy's doing, because it's all sin in my eyes. You know? So thank you so much for being a part of this.
Yes, love. You're very welcome. Please come on any more of my lives that you see. I love what you had to offer.
Take care.
Yes, ma'am. Peace to you. Amazing build, Joe. All of you guys, thank you guys so much for contributing to this live. I would like to hope that we did say something to him that he'll think about later. But hey, as long as we know that we said what we could, my philosophy is this: once you give a person advice, if they do not heed that advice, allow the universe to teach them. Okay, for the universe is the greatest teacher. I want you guys to say that to yourself. Take a deep breath. No anger and animosity for the person that didn't take your advice. You understand? No anger. There's no reason to walk away being angry and upset in your energy at the way someone else is living, when the truth is, if you change your life and how you live, you will create a better reality for you. It'll be your reality, family. And that's just the truth. And so we can try to encourage others to do what we think is the right thing, or what we would do in our own personal lives for our betterment. They may not take our advice for it. And when they don't, allow the universe to teach them. For the universe is the greatest teacher, right? We must all be master students of the universe. None of us can argue with that. All right, family, be evolution, be the change that you want to see. No candle loses its flame from lighting another. And if you were to ever find yourself in the middle of chaos, what's in that chaos that you find yourself? Peace, family.